Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the least requested, least demanded, and the least downloaded wrestling podcast, PCW. This could be a long podcast, so strap in and shut up and don't be a little bitch about it.
To the masters. Ruthless aggression.
Hey, it's your host, Semi-Dry Chicken, and welcome to another episode of PCW. And I am not alone. Let me play in my guest. Dre, welcome back.
Hey, what it do, PCW crew?
Man, you excited to talk about some wrestling tonight?
Yep.
Oh,
ready,
yes.
Let's get to it.
All right. And who else is following right behind you? Andrew, welcome back to the show.
It's me. It's the Doyle.
Oh, I love
I'm
it.
right down the road from Little Arena.
Ooh.
Little Arena down the street. Think I might be going there in a few days.
Ooh, but you won't be going alone. You will also be bringing...
Step up, bring it. Yes, sir. Somebody gon' get their ass kicked. Somebody gon' get their whip with it. Somebody gon' get their ass kicked. Somebody gon' get their whip with it.
Dave. What's up?
Yes, you do. What's going on?
All right, guys. We are going to be talking about Extreme Rules. And not just that, we are going to be at Extreme Rules in Philadelphia this Saturday. Andrew, me, and David, we will be there in Philly this Saturday, October 8th, at the Wells Fargo Center. Not that far away from us. I mean, for me and Dave, maybe like a little under an hour. And then,
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. Andrew, pretty close, right? I mean, you can throw some rocks at him. Pretty close.
Yeah, I can walk there.
See? He can strut that. You gotta get the good old Vince McMahon walk all the way down.
Oh, God damn it.
I'm not jealous at all.
It's good shit. It's good shit. Guys, this pay-per-view is showing me right off the bat, just looking at the card, how everything is actually extreme. All the stipulations are extreme this year. Not just one match or two. It's all of them.
Wasn't there only one last year?
Yeah. It's
So,
it's just these are the subtle little changes we're seeing with Triple H taking over the business, you know, and looking at the card in general, you know.
yep.
But you know what? Let's
That's good on there, and to have the pay-per-view actually live up. Well, hopefully live up to its title.
Yeah. Pretty.
Doesn't make any sense to have a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules with a bunch of regular matches.
or
Yeah.
like a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view and only have one Hell in a Cell match. Hopefully, stuff like that kind of changes in the future. But you know what? Let's go into news here. I got a bumper for news for us finally. Hey, fucking like that?
Not bad.
Not bad, right? Yeah, right? Wait, let's get right to it. we all think this. We've been seeing these White Rabbit references, music being played in house shows, QR codes throughout Raw and SmackDown, little Easter eggs, signs in the background, and I would sit here and go through them all, but there's a lot. There's a lot to cover, and if you've been paying attention throughout the weeks, these little hints have been dropped, and if you got a bunch of these written on a board somewhere with some twine, going around, and it all leads to at least what I think, and probably a good majority of everybody else, that Bray Wyatt is coming back, possibly to Philadelphia in Extreme Rules. I mean,
that's sure what it looks like. There's been some other people, though, they've kind of maybe trying to red herring us. I guess one of the things said it's spelled Bel Air and Morse code. One of the codes translated to Gacy. And I think there was a reference to a third person. It's completely escaping me at the moment. But I think it's just just a red herring for the White Rabbit. I think they're just trying to throw us off the scent, and I think it's definitely Bray Wyatt. And I think we all expect to see him Saturday night in South Philly.
Yeah.
I hope it's Zack Ryder just to piss everybody off.
Yeah,
fuck that.
So Carrie Cross is also I've seen on the list because he played a rabbit character or something. And
here's the thing is
he's Lucha Underground.
Right, there was a lot of Wyatt 6 going around. This Wyatt 6 rumor. Now, could we possibly be seeing a group forming here? With Bray, we got
Braun's back.
Braun is back. That's a good one. How about Dexter Lumis?
That would be a good one.
Okay. Who else
Dexter
we got?
Lumis could be interesting. Braun, I think Braun's outgrown Wyatt.
I would agree that too.
Yeah.
That it could go either way.
I honestly think Braun came back because he knows Wade Wyatt's coming back.
Possibly. I think he came back because Triple H is going to give him, not waste his talents and just actually make him a main eventer. And the way they're building him up is just a solo monster. To go back and just be, because the thing about cliques is there's only room for one number one in a clique. There's very few cliques that have ever worked with multiple top dogs in them. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't think Bray Wyatt came back to not be a top dog. Which if he joins the Wyatt family thing, he's not a top dog anymore.
What about Alexa Bliss?
Absolutely. I can definitely see her because her character has no direction right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. How does he bring her back after she betrayed him? You've seen the whole Samson and Delilah thing going on in those cryptic messages. So
we'll get to it later, but there is a ladder match being involved later that somebody could come in and just screw that up.
Yeah,
somebody,
true.
Cost somebody of the title, and that could be a heel turn right there. I mean, and Karrion Kross and Scarlett, like that's another 2. I mean, I don't know if I would count really Scarlett, but I guess that's 6. If that would be the case, I mean, who else you guys think? Where has there's rumor of Aleister Black was trying to get out of his contract and possibly jump ship and come over here. I don't know if he got his early release, because I know a lot of these guys have been trying to get early releases and are not getting it granted.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Aleister Black with Bray Wyatt though. They're two different darknesses to me. You know what I mean? Aleister likes to be on the mic. Wyatt likes to do his own thing. I just don't see them. You know what I mean? I see them clashing, but I don't see them coexisting.
Think about some guys who we haven't seen on TV in a while. Where they been? Where's Baron Corbin been?
That's true. A lot of people have been saying stuff about Corbin. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm hoping that Triple H is giving him his lone wolf stuff back. I'm just hoping that he's coming back as the Bray Wyatt. I mean, I'm hoping he's coming back as the Corbin we've seen in the beginning NXT days when he playing no games.
Corbin has gone through many, many character changes, but I mean,
yeah, I mean,
Just finding one that works, I guess, right?
yeah. When he first came out, I think Vince just took him off the ball, man. Like he changed him up. You know what I mean? And I just like the Corbin that came first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I actually see that Corbin being part of the Judgment Day, but I don't know. You never know.
Yeah, that's a good point. If I could put money on it, the only person I can see right now definitely joining up with Bray Wyatt is Alexa Bliss. At least coming out of this pay-per-view. If Bray Wyatt has anybody like standing beside him in the ring, I can see Alexa Bliss. And from there, he could talk of recruiting others or bringing others in and, building up his stable. And then it could just be a mystery going forward as to who he recruits and who he brings in.
Yep.
I could see them going that route just to keep the intrigue and keep the interest going.
Yeah.
Maybe Dexter Lumis as well. They could be. I could see that possibly as well. Maybe Dexter Lumis was an agent of Bray in advance.
Yeah,
I could see that.
This thing with him and
being
Miz,
a possibility, but nothing beyond those two. Like Karrion Kross, definitely not. I think he's his own man, and they've set him up as his own individual. I don't see him again. Just the same situation with Braun Strowman. I don't see him being a number 2 behind Bray Wyatt.
I really see. Do you guys remember Asuka's independent character that was dark? Have you ever seen her independent character that was dark?
Are you talking like NXT, or are you talking prior NXT?
In Japan.
Japan.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen very much.
She played. You guys should look it up. She played. I'm trying to think of the name of the character she played, but she played a dark, Japanese character that everybody's asking her to bring back. And I looked it up. It was pretty cool. And I think that character would fit Bray Wyatt because it's kind of the it brings that same feeling. You guys should look it up though. Like I forget the name. I wish I remembered the name because it's also a cool name that she used. But yeah, you guys should look it up. She can do so much more, bro. Like Asuka can do so much more, and I see them actually let her have that moniker back eventually.
I could see that if she did that as an individual. I don't see that happening with Bray Wyatt. I could see her going dark, like I said, as a change up of her character. If the current thing she's doing now gets stale and they have a need for more heels, sure, I can see that gimmick coming into play. I don't see that happening as part of Bray Wyatt's staple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, if you've seen it, it just plays in, And she's like, she's with Alexa Bliss right now, but we
can always think bigger because right now we're getting groups like Judgment Day are getting larger, and you have the Bloodline, which is very large. And it just seems like with Survivor Series coming up and stuff, we need to see more people start forming some sort of factions or rival groups to go up against some of these guys. These other groups.
That could be the case, but that's a lot of those stables we're seeing are heel stables. So
yeah, we need a face stable.
We need a face one.
When have we ever had face stables really in the history of wrestling that have lasted any length of time?
Let's see, Kevin
That's
Owens,
the thing, though.
Gargano, and let's see Sami Zayn jump over. From the Bloodline. Because you guys, come on. At some point, the Bloodline is going to turn on Sami Zayn. It's inevitable, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then Sami Zayn's going to jump ship, and he's going to be with Kevin Owens again. And they're going to be the ones that take the tag titles off of the Usos.
Remember, it's Sammy. Sammy's a slick son of a gun, man.
He's going to pin Jay. That's how he's going to win it. He's going to be the one to pin Jay.
Everybody thinks that they might go against him, but man, Sammy might just shock everybody. You know what I mean? Sammy still wants that title, bro. Don't forget
What
that.
title?
He wants the championship title eventually.
It's
Yeah, if he upset Roman, that would be phenomenal.
no.
He said he wants at least one.
That would be insane, but I don't see it.
No, I don't see that
I'm
coming.
saying-
No, they'll never do it.
At least
I can see the tag title thing. I can see that sort of
Tag
happening,
titles.
even though
Because there's more in-depth story there. Because if Sami Zayn would be the one to pin Jey Uso, and Jey Uso would be the one to sabotage Sami to get him kicked out of the bloodline finally. Because it seems like if anybody wants him out, it's Jey Uso. He'd be the one to sabotage him, and then Sami would get that satisfaction of being the one to pin him and end that run. And they both haven't had the tag team titles together, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, that could.
I think that's one reason why they're kind of doing more with Sammy and Kevin seeing each other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that could be playing into something, working into something. You know what I mean? Finally seeing these two do stuff together, which we know would be fucking awesome, man. You know what I mean? So it's going. I think it's going to happen eventually. Wait till WrestleMania. It might be a Sammy, and Owens thing. You know what I mean? Going on.
Yeah, I could 100% see that. Even though I had predicted that Kevin Owens would be the become champion by WrestleMania, I did not factor in the possibility of him forming a tag team with Sami Zayn. I actually think that is very, very much more likely, if anything, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the tag titles at WrestleMania. I could actually see that happening more than my prediction of Kevin Owens becoming the WWE champion. I think that's a exciting, very, very real possibility.
And not just that,
they can do something that ends up getting him kicked out by, say, around Royal Rumble time, or something happens around the Royal Rumble that's like the straw that breaks the camel's back and leads to him getting kicked out, and then teaming up with Kevin Owens, and they end up feuding with the Usos going into WrestleMania. I can absolutely see that happening.
Let me ask you guys this question: what would you prefer more, if Sami Zayn got kicked out of the bloodline, or Sami Zayn rescues Kevin Owens from getting a beatdown, kind of like when Shawn Michaels saved Triple H and reunited with DX. Instead of them kicking Sami Zayn out directly, like he just turns on the bloodline. Like, you know what I mean? Because it has been shown, the cracks have been fucking forming throughout the week, and we've been seeing it. Even Kevin Owens told Sami Zayn, you need to get a new shirt. It's... Yeah. I see it, man.
Well, something's going to happen to get kicked.
When?
Out. Like they're not just going to randomly say, "All right, we're done with you. Get out." Like he's going to do something that's going to be the final straw. That's going to get him kicked out. Whether he costs somebody a title, or if he does do, like I said, the sudden face turn. Maybe Kevin Owens ends up back in the feud with Roman or something like that, and they're about to, put KO down, and Sami Zayn has a moment where he just turns and decides to save Kevin Owens. Who knows? It could be either one of those, but definitely, like I said,
that'd be cool.
I also think that like Solo seems to really like Sammy. When you see Solo, he's always gigging. Sammy always cracks him. You know what I mean? He always has to laugh. Sammy likes Solo. Solo likes Sammy, and so does Jay. You know what I mean? Not Jay. Oh no, wait, it is Jay, right? Jimmy's
the one that's cool with him.
Jimmy is the one. Yeah.
I've never been able to tell them apart, ever.
Yeah, exactly. Something is going to explode between that, and I don't know what it's going to be. I hope the story's good that happens there, but I don't know. I think Sammy has the other two's hearts, right now. You know what I mean? They love Sammy being there, and like it looks like Roman does too. You know what I mean? And Roman looked like he been having a little something with Jay. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when he's saying, when he's trying to be some other type of way with Sammy and all that. But you never know with Roman right now, because you never know what he's thinking. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's going to be real. It's going to be real crazy to see how this explodes, because it's got to explode before Roman loses the title.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's what's going to make Roman lose the title. Honestly, it's the whole thing is going to
fall apart, and he won't have his support group anymore. Yeah, exactly. They like him, but I don't know that they like him to choose Sami Zayn over family. I think, like you said, it will just eventually all crumble, and everybody will end up going their separate ways. I don't think it's going to be one of those type of things where they choose Sammy over Roman per se. It'll be something else that'll break them all up.
Yeah, something's going to happen, and
I just can't see them choosing Sammy over blood. Over family.
I see what you're saying too. But it's just I just feel like something's going to go down. Sammy's been putting Sammy's been jumping in the way and taking hard shots with him and everything. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's something there. You know what I mean?
There's definitely something there.
There's
definitely something there, and I think Sammy whatever Sammy does eventually get kicked out, whatever that catalyst is that causes him to get kicked out of the bloodline is going to signal the beginning of the end.
Exactly.
Because once he gets kicked out, he's going to all right, I'm determined to destroy y'all.
Yep.
And it'll start with maybe him and Kevin Owens possibly teaming up and forming a tag team and going after the tag titles, or he could team up maybe with somebody else and go after them and assist Kevin Owens in taking the WWE title off of Roman.
Never know. You might be right.
Yeah, something either way. Like I said, ultimately, I believe when Sami Zayn gets kicked out, that will be the beginning of the end of the bloodline.
All right.
I'm with you too. I do not see Kevin Owens not being on the card next year at WrestleMania. After, you know what I mean? Like, I'm with you on that. He's going to be in there somewhere. I just don't know what it's going to be yet, but Kevin Owens has to be the guy, one of the guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
he's going to be on the show. He will be wrestling for a title. That's my prediction. And I think it's either going to be the tag titles with Sami Zayn, like you had predicted, against Roman Reigns for the Universal title.
Yeah.
Or I just totally forgot about this. That might happen before WrestleMania if they still plan on doing Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania. So this could all come to a head before then. This could happen at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's true.
Possibly. And then that could free Roman up to get into a feud with The Rock going into WrestleMania. Because I know there's been still talk and rumors of Roman versus The Rock being for the title, but I seriously hope they do not go that route, because that would, much of a dream match and a fantasy match as that is, that would kill it, because everybody would automatically know The Rock is going to lose. Because there's no way in hell that The Rock is going to take the title off Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, because he's not a full-time wrestler. So
he drop it right the next pay-per-view.
Not at all.
Yeah, he wouldn't even do that, because The Rock's not going to stick around for that long.
Nah.
He's not going to stick around for more than one pay-per-view. He'll come in, work the program through WrestleMania, and then that's it. And that needs to happen with Roman and just be a fantasy match. They don't need the title to make that feud interesting. They're both in the same Anoa'i family, head of the table. Roman has always been has been talking that line from the jump, that he's the head of the table, he's the top dog, he's the alpha in the Anoa'i family, and all he has to do is go out there, cut a promo, talk about how he still runs the family. That could even happen in the midst of all the beef and all the fractures and cracks and the bloodline starting to fall apart, and he talked that shit like, I'm still running this stuff, I'm still the head of the table, I'm still the guy in charge. If you smell, and then that's
listen, the way they've been building Roman up, they have to give that moment to someone who needs it. The way they built him up, they're building him up like they built Brock, who's going to beat this person. There has to be one of these young, hungry guys that needs that push, that next push. Rock don't need it. We already know, everybody knows Rock is the real tribal chief. He's the one making all the money.
Which is why their match at WrestleMania just needs to be just a fantasy match, just that dream match. I honestly was hoping that in between WrestleMania and now, that Roman had to give up one of those belts or lose one of those belts, because we all know Cody's coming back at Royal Rumble. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, that's who I think's going to win the Rumble. That's where my money is at. Is Cody Rhodes.
I was hoping that Seth took one of those belts off him before he got back, so that feud between him and Cody could go on once he gets back. Because that's a WrestleMania match right there next year. So you know what I mean. Like, and being for the title, you know what I mean. That would be great too. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but are they? I don't see them. I don't see them letting anybody pin Roman until WrestleMania. That's all I know. Nobody
pins him until WrestleMania. Then that means he goes into WrestleMania as the champion.
I mean, but I could see him lose.
That makes no sense for that to be a title match.
No, I understand what you're saying, but does he though? He don't have to get pinned to lose. You know what I mean? It's matches where he don't have to get pinned to lose. You know what I mean? So
to lose the titles?
Yeah, to lose any one of the titles. It could be. They
If he
could
drops the title, but if he drops the titles without being pinned, then you're basically turning whatever gets that champion into a Liv Morgan. They have no credibility because they didn't actually pin him.
They could make it a 3-way match or something like that. I don't know. It's just a way to get one of the titles off him without.
They had many opportunities, and they just never took them.
Yeah, but he's at that point now where he's been built up so much that he can lose the titles, and he's still the top guy.
Oh, of course.
Like he doesn't like him dropping the titles before WrestleMania or dropping the titles to somebody and making somebody else that top guy doesn't hurt Roman in any way whatsoever.
Not in any way. He's still going to be the tribal chief. He's still going to be who he is. He already built that persona now.
Right. So, and it just frees him up so that way he can have his feud with The Rock. Make it interesting without the titles being involved in it. And then the titles are now free for a whole other feud. Because if they're again, still working off the premise that they're going to go with Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania.
Right.
If you lump the titles into that, you're tying up basically two major storylines into one: the title and the head of the family, head of the head table storyline. You're tying them up into one. If Roman drops the titles beforehand, then now you have two separate storylines that you can work. Whoever's the champion can have their storyline and their feud with whoever the Royal Rumble winner is or that, and then Rock and Roman can be off on the side doing their own thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Like to me, like he has to lose the titles before WrestleMania, one way or another. He's got to drop them.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, it's going to be rough, but I mean, I just read them saying that they didn't want Roman to lose until WrestleMania.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing, and I'm like, somebody really need to talk Triple H out of that and break it down to him.
We'll have to see. I mean,
give him my number, damn it. Let me holler at him right quick.
I mean,
let's do lunch.
Because he really doesn't need it. Because look at Seth. Seth lost how many times to Cody? And I mean, come on,
3 straight, right? I think it was 3 straight in a row.
He lost 3 straight.
He's
made a Backlash and Hell in a Cell. Lost 3 in a row.
And he's lost after that. He's lost. Seth hasn't had a title since when? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's been a very long time.
Well, he's about to take the U.S. title off Bobby Lashley.
Oh my
Monday.
God! I mean, yeah, it was like, why is he getting into the
Well, has Seth ever had the U.S. title?
Yeah, he's had it. It's just that.
Oh yeah, he was double champion for a while.
But
yeah, that's
it's
right,
the only
title,
the main title they have on the show.
Yeah,
it's like
true.
they kind of have no choice. If you're going to elevate that title, you're gonna. I mean, Bobby Lashley is a good champion, but like, if you're gonna have it switch hands, I guess Seth Rollins is a good choice.
Man, I just love how they let Bobby do his thing though, man. He looks good, man. Like he's
really elevated that title in the past couple of months.
Yeah, man. He's looking good.
Being a fighting champion and having good matches.
Exactly. He's treating it like Cena treated it.
I mean, unfortunately,
I love doing that.
Unfortunately, Seth Rollins wanted this to be his summer,
The king of the summer.
That little aggressive streak out of Bobby Lashley this past Monday with what's your boy Ali? Well, Ali slapped the shit out of Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley was like, I'm about to go hurt business on your ass. You must have forgotten who I am.
Yeah. I'm demanding an opportunity. Yeah.
See, I don't know.
His mic work, though. He still needs to work on the mic.
I think his braids are a little too tight. He's messing around with Bobby Lashley. Like, he just walks in there and just, wants a title shot. I'm like, no, dude. He's like, I've been waiting. I'm like, waiting for what? You got to show up every week and earn some W's. Just walk in here and just, right. I mean, anyway, moving on real quick here. With a new, this broke today. With a new season of all 3 WWE programs about to kick off on Friday, October 7th, WWE has announced changes to the broadcast teams across the board. With these changes, some faces return, some depart, and some get relocated. As first reported by Variety, SmackDown will now feature a new commentary team of Wade Barrett and Michael Cole. Wade Barrett's appearance on October 7th, SmackDown, was first reported by Mike Johnson of PW Insider. Corey Graves has briefly been filling in for Pat McAfee, who's been announced his temporary departure from WWE to pursue a new career opportunity with College Game Day. Pat McAfee will return to WWE once he's finished with his commitments. On SmackDown, Kayla Braxton and Megan Morant will continue their roles as backstage interviewers. Samantha Irvine will continue her role as ring announcer. Monday Night Raw will now feature the commentary team of Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves with Byron Saxton, and the returning Kathy Kelly acting as on-screen interviewers. Kathy was previously on NXT Backstage as an interviewer before leaving to pursue other endeavors in 2020. Mike Rome will be continuing his role on the Monday Night Raw ring announcer. And Jimmy Smith, the man who has been in the lead Raw main play-by-play role since the quick departure of adding blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, yeah. Oh, here we go. Over at NXT, Vic Joseph will now be joined by WWE Hall of Famer Booker T.
Oh.
Yeah, so Booker T is going to NXT. Oh, shucky ducky, quack, quack.
That sounds like Booker T's going to NXT and Wade Barrett's jumping from NXT to SmackDown.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That's basically what the only thing that sounded different to me.
Yeah, I mean, how much longer are we going to have to put up with Michael Cole? I mean, I don't know. Michael Cole has gotten better since Vince has left.
He's been much better since the Triple H.
Yeah.
And I am a Michael Cole hater, avowed Michael Cole hater. He has been so much better. In fact, I might argue that no one has been better since Triple H took over than Michael Cole has been.
Yeah.
Michael Cole, he didn't got his groove back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he sounds like a new man.
And he's the OG, so he ain't going nowhere until he decides he wants to.
Oh no, yeah. We ain't lying about that.
Mm-hmm.
He's tenured as hell.
Yeah, ain't that the fucking truth, right? And there's going to be some NXT call-ups to be rumored for SmackDown. I guess they're kicking off the new season of SmackDown after Extreme Rules. They will be bringing Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, Elektra Lopez, and Cruz del Toro to SmackDown. There probably going to be more call-ups than that. I did hear there's going to be like a 90-day clause or something that they have, or is it 2 years, I think? They have like 2 years to get up to like SmackDown Raw quality, I guess, or they get let go. Like they have to be up to like standards to be up on the main roster in 2 years. Has anybody else heard that?
That's weird. Because like, I remember a lot of guys recently wanted to stay in NXT because they were liking it better. They didn't want to go on the road. They didn't want to work 6 days a week. They,
right. That's what I'm taking.
Sure, they weren't making the money. They weren't having the exposure, but they didn't care. They were making enough money.
Well, saying that they have to be Raw or SmackDown quality doesn't necessarily mean that they have to
main
jump
roster
up
quality.
to the roster.
Yeah,
It means that their performance
exactly.
in the ring has to be good enough that it could be showcased on Raw or SmackDown. And if that's the case, then they could theoretically stay in
that's
NXT,
a fair point.
and it just it elevates the NXT product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think some people are better off just staying in NXT.
Yeah, a lot of people
NXT
we've seen recently just went back. Veer went back. Apollo Crews went back. Akeem went back. Was it not Akeem? What's his name?
Akeem, the African Dream.
No. The guy who was with Apollo, the big guy. It's like I'm drawing a blank right now.
Are you talking about
when Apollo was recently on the main roster?
General something?
General Aziz.
Aziz,
like
the one that was with Apollo.
That's my point. Is like he's not rememberable. Maybe that's why he went back down to NXT. But there's a couple guys who went back down, and I mean maybe it's just they need some work from fine tuning.
A lot of them guys before, like Johnny Gargano and all of them, I don't think Johnny Gargano would be on the main roster right now if Triple H wasn't there. He probably would have went to AEW with freaking the rest of them. But he came back. I think he came back mostly because Triple H took over.
I think Ciampa was the same way.
He was weighing his options. A lot of them guys didn't want to come on. Adam Cole, all of them, they didn't want to come to the main roster because they knew what was going to happen to them with Vince in charge. You know what I mean? Vince don't really like the small guys like that, or all that other crap. You know what I mean? They seen what was happening to the people that was coming up from NXT. A lot of the people. So they was probably just mostly scared to leave NXT, go up to the main roster, and just get better.
That didn't just happen to small guys. So, I mean, when Keith Lee got called up, are you fucking kidding me? That was ridiculous.
So you gotta think. Look at all the crap. Keith Lee didn't want to started getting out of shape when he got back. He didn't want to try to get back in shape. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
like Andrade was so much better in NXT than he's been anywhere else.
Yeah, but what the problem with that was is
he's a lunatic.
Always, I wasn't talking about that guy. I was talking about like just with the call ups is that he always wants to put his imprint on somebody. He made the mistake of forgetting what made these people good, what worked for them in NXT, and why they needed to be called up in the first place. He always thought that he wanted to treat NXT like it was something separate, and once you get called up onto the main roster, you know, basically insulting the fans' intelligence. Like people get called up to the main roster, and we suddenly don't know who they are, and he has to remake them in his own image so he can have a credit.
Yeah,
completely abandoned the very thing that made these people work and get over with the fans in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
perfect example was Karrion Kross.
His own names out of them, so that if they left and went to other places, he couldn't use those names. That's what he was doing. He was making his own trademarks. That's what he always freaking does.
Mm-hmm.
He makes his.
He managed to steal people that already had, like the Dudley Boys. They're like no, they can't be Bubba Ray and Devon, right? They're Bully Ray and something else. You know, it's just like,
yep.
He's gonna have his fucking little. He had to have his little grubby little mitts and everything. You know.
Yep.
I'm sure Triple H is gonna be the same way, but hopefully
that's kind of just a business practice as a whole. Like,
hopefully it'll be a little less transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's kept them from getting some certain other wrestlers too in the past. I think that's one of the big reasons why Jade Cargill never signed with WWE, even though they wanted her. She chose not to, just for that very reason. She wanted to maintain ownership of her name and her brand and all that stuff. Exactly. She was allowed to have in AEW, which is why she chose them over the WWE.
Yep, exactly.
Just imagine what the hell Vince would have tried to name her had she signed with.
I know, right?
She would not have been Jade Cargill. She'd have had some stupid name.
Yep.
Especially in the summer of 2020 when she was coming up, like some of the shit going on. Oh.
Yeah, some of them were better off going to AEW at that time. Mm-hmm. Some of them were better off going because they would have been able to, like, I can't say Tony Khan lets them have a lot of creative control over what they do there, you know what I mean? So, you know, it is good for some of them because they go out there and they get themselves out there, and you know, if they want to ever go to WWE now, you know what I mean, they might have a better chance at, you know, getting more control over who they want to be.
Exactly. Yeah, they build their brand up outside of the WWE. They come to the table with a much stronger hand whenever it's time.
Yeah,
they consider jumping ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know that Keith Lee name, that was terrible.
Bearcat, was that it?
Oh man, that was already
Bearcat Lee
from somebody that was already named Bearcat, bro. Mm-hmm. That was some guy's name from back in the day, another black dude, like, and then he wants to name this black dude Bearcat. Like, come on, man, he wants his own person, you know? Like, come on, don't do that to
me. Bearcat, like, what is this? The freaking 80s?
Yeah. Nobody wants to be called Bearcat. What the fuck is
That's good shit. I don't like it. Don't like it. Trust me. I don't like it. There's also a rumor that Triple H was contacting El Idolo about a possibility of coming back, but he's trying to get out of his contract in AEW.
Yeah.
It would make sense. Knowing that
Tony Khan ain't letting nobody out their contract.
No. And you know what, though? They did it similar to what WWE did at one point. They just kind of bought up all the contracts that were kind of loose. Mm-hmm. You know, all the good ones, I guess, and tied all these guys up to like 4 or 5 year contracts. I mean, some of these guys aren't.
We don't want to do anything with it. That sucks. That's so unfair to people, I think. We don't want to do anything with you, but we don't want you going over there. So we're just going to pay you to sit at home. Now,
Sucks.
I would like that.
In your,
business.
and you know what though? As much as that, as cool as that sounds, though, to be just at home getting paycheck still. But I always think of it as like, okay, like if Adam Cole had to sit home for 5 years, right, to run out of contract, like that's 5 years of his like prime that we're not getting. That's just being wasted.
Despite Ric Flair would have you believe, there's a finite amount of years you can do this shit to yourself. You know what I mean?
There's always like a amount of bumps you can take, until you run out.
Yeah. They don't even let Andrade fight, man, though, or AEW. Like, they don't even use him. Like, I don't understand. His matches with Rey Mysterio was the best matches I've seen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he hasn't had one match like that in AEW, bro.
I'll bring him back and just put him with Selena Vega again. Because Selena Vega is another one who right now, she's out with an injury, but she was another one, like after she won the Queen of the Ring, hasn't done shit. Like she won the tag titles with Carmella for a short amount of time, and then she kind of floundered after that, and then she got injured. So what a way to bring both of them back.
I feel like Selena Vega is such a, like, she's just like more of a mouthpiece to me than I like her as a mouthpiece more than seeing her in the ring. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just me. But I'm not saying that she's not good in the ring. I'm just saying, like, I like her more as, like, a manager type, you know what I mean? Something like that. Like, that's what I see Selena Vega as.
Yeah, I agree. A manager that can get involved physically with stuff, but isn't an active wrestler.
Yeah. I just see her as that because I feel like these days the women have evolved so much. And you got people like freaking Raquel Gonzalez and all these chicks who's just like throwing chicks around, and you know what I mean? Like, I just see, I see Selena Vega being her freaking manager. You know what I mean? Like,
I see what you're saying. Like the bar has definitely been raised in terms of the performance we expect out of our women wrestlers now. And if you don't rise up to that bar, it sticks out like a sore thumb much more now. Excuse me, than it did back in the day. Back in the day, you could have a top tier performer with a mediocre performer, and it wouldn't be.
She should have come along 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Like Zelina Vega could have shined during like the Divas era or during like the Trish and Lita era. She could have been good, but now with the matches these women put on, oh no! If you can't bring it in the ring, you know
exactly, man. You're
not gonna make it. You're not gonna rise, and the fans are not going to want to see you.
Who's the
I like watching women's matches more and more lately. Like, I love watching the women's matches. Like, they be killing it out there, man. And it's been before. Remember when we was talking before about how we thought the women was like killed the guys in the pay-per-views.
Oh yeah, like a couple of pay-per-views where they stole the show.
Guys in the pay-per-views, bro. The matches with the women's matches, especially since Bianca been champion, they've been killing it. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I remember I said that Bianca and Becky stole the show at night one of WrestleMania. They had the match of the night.
They definitely did.
They arguably had one of the best matches at SummerSlam.
Yep, they had a great match, man.
You guys were talking about a valet that gets in the ring and gets physical. And Hit Row, B-Fab, does she wrestle?
I don't. I mean, she did right before they.
I've
got
never
fired,
seen her wrestle. Like
she wrestled right before they got fired. The first time when they got fired, she had just started wrestling, and after she started wrestling, she showed her skills, and then they got fired like a little while after that. She only got to show her stuff like that one time.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just never seen her like in the ring. Yeah,
she was pretty good when I seen her. I think she had potential. You know what I mean? Well, from what I've seen from her, I forget who she fought. I think she fought like a nobody, really. You know what I mean? But I think she did good, but we didn't really get to see much after that because they were gone.
She's there on SmackDown, and I mean, there's time for her to have a match should whatever the storyline or wherever something calls for it.
Yeah. I see. She could have a good. You know what I mean? Like, it's a couple of the girls that she probably could get a woman's title with. You know what I mean? She got a mouthpiece on her. You know what I mean? They're all entertaining, all of them. So we'll see. I don't know if Swerve's trying to get out of his contract to come back, but that would just top it off. But we'll see.
All right. Well, I got no other like decent news because I guess the big news was Bray Wyatt coming back. So, do you guys got any other news? Rumors? You guys want to chit chat about before we start?
Not really. I mean, we could talk a little bit more about that because, I mean, you know, like I'd like to know who everybody think Bray's coming after. I mean, he said you killed the world and all that. You know what I mean? All the phrases he's been saying. Like, who killed the world? We know Randy Orton killed the Fiend at one point in time. Randy Orton hasn't come back yet.
I think he's a ways off too. I don't think Orton's out for a while.
Yeah.
There's.
So I'd say he's not coming after Orton.
I mean, I've been.
We're not going to see Orton back for a while because I think his back injury, I think, is much worse than they initially thought it was.
I've been
that he ain't going to be back at all this year.
I've been watching Randy do freaking videos and stuff with his wife. They've been doing live videos. He's doing all types of crap. He don't look hurt to me, bro.
Hanging out on an IG video or just working out in the gym is completely different.
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying he don't look too hurt. But I'm just saying, it could be him.
Maybe he's emotionally hurt, Dave. Did you ever think about that? Maybe it's emotionally.
Because remember when everything got screwed up, that last match for him and Seth, it was in a cage. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. And Seth is in a cage match. You know what I mean? Who's he coming after? If he is coming back.
That's a great question. I don't know how he fits into the show.
Mm-hmm.
That is the big question. Like,
I mean, he doesn't have to come after anybody.
Nobody's really. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, everybody wants to see him back, but nobody's thinking about, okay, once he's back, what does he do?
Yeah,
you're not going to feed him to Roman Reigns and have him lose immediately coming back.
No, not at all. Not at all. But right. you do have to think.
He's got to have somebody else on the roster that he can feed up on because it's got to be somebody that he can go over on because he's not going to come back and jump into a feud and lose.
Of course. I mean, he did. His last feud was when Roman came back and just took the titles from them. You know what I mean? That took the titles from him and Bray.
Yeah, that's
a 3-way match.
Who's a good face that he can feud with and and ideally go over?
I mean, what if he comes after Riddle? I mean,
that's what I was thinking too.
He could come
like Riddle, taking Riddle out. What?
Is he even coming back as a heel? That's what I'm saying.
That is true. Yeah. I mean, how are you going to hate him? People want him back so bad. People aren't going to boo him.
That's what he might be coming back.
He will be a face, but
and if it does end up being the Bloodline and the War Games, I could conceivably see Bray Wyatt on the Avenger side of just people coming together to take on the Bloodline.
But if you notice all the subliminal messages, it's telling his story basically. If you go back, it's been telling the story. You know what I mean? If you really look into it, it's telling the whole story. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Since this point, the last one was about Alexa. You know what I mean? What
if Alexa is the White Rabbit? You don't know it yet.
Oh my God!
You never know.
I mean, this whole time, it's just her. It's not Bray at all.
Yeah.
He's coming later, but
I would really.
That would be a big wet fart,
bro. You know how bad that would be. You know, I think we would really hear. We're going to be in that crowd.
That's going to be a tough fucking crowd.
If it's somebody else but Bray, I think everybody's going to riot.
Yeah, right. Hey, well, you know what? That's going to be the three of us because we will be there. We'll be the ones to start the riot. I mean,
y'all gonna be so mad. Y'all gonna be so mad when y'all see that White Rabbit pop up on the screen, and the next thing you hear is
I know.
Woo, woo.
Oh man, it's Bad Bunny. He's coming back. Oh wait,
Hey,
what if
everybody,
it's
Bad Bunny? It's Bad Bunny. It's White Rabbit.
what if it's the rabbit from Adam Rose's group of
Oh no! Don't say that. That would suck, bro.
Oh, man. I'm telling you, there's way worse ones that could happen. But Vince isn't here.
No.
We have to remember, Vince isn't here. There's gonna be no gobbledygooker. Okay, we're everyone calm down. Just calm down. Okay, Triple H is
I did hear
he's
that.
the captain.
What's his name? What's his name? Oh man, what the heck is his name?
Oh man, this is
What
great.
was Scarlett.
Karen
And, Karrion Kross and Scarlett. I heard Karrion Kross's old name. They used to call him White Rabbit.
we talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, in
Were you
Lucha
here?
Underground. He was,
But what sense does it make to run all these promos for a guy who's already on the roster?
that doesn't.
Yeah, that is very true. A guy who's already here,
Right.
feuding with
And he's
currently
already
Drew
here.
McIntyre.
He's already cutting his own promos. He's already somewhat entangled in a feud.
The thing about it is he might be the White Rabbit, but that doesn't mean that Bray is not coming. It might mean that the White Rabbit is with Bray.
Right.
But that
right.
but it does nothing for Karrion Kross for him to be the White Rabbit. The whole thing about the White Rabbit now is that it's a mystery of who it is and somebody theoretically coming in as it being an outsider. It doesn't really do anything to have Karrion Kross on TV cutting good promos, getting involved in action, and then having this mystery stuff going on in the background just to realize, oh, hey, this thing y'all thought it was is this guy who's been here all along. Like, what does it do for him? Absolutely nothing.
But that could be Bray coming out and then accepting him as White Rabbit. I don't know. You never know. You know what I mean? He could come out.
That doesn't do anything though. That's the whole wet fart thing of the White Rabbit. It's like you did all this just for it to be the guy who's already here.
Yeah.
I think
that still would go off.
I agree with you that
if they made the White Rabbit,
I just think everybody's gonna be so happy that Bray's there. They ain't gonna give a shit that he's the White
they
Rabbit.
will absolutely.
They don't.
People will be happy, but they will absolutely shit over that White Rabbit thing.
You got to think Bray. Remember Bray made sure that he trademarked the name Wyatt 6, and he trademarked, you know what I mean, names that he's probably already going to go by when he comes back.
And people trademark stuff all the time and never do anything with it.
All the time. That don't mean the WWE's going to use it.
I mean, that's true too. But I'm telling you right now, they know he's going to make a lot of money, and he's going to be making his own shit. He's going to be doing his own thing. He ain't coming back unless he has full everything of his character, bro.
That sounds like Zack Ryder written all over it.
Ain't nobody getting full creative control in WWE.
I'm
That
just
ain't happening.
they have before.
He'll have input. He'll have some say about certain directions. Yes.
Yeah,
But
not full creative control.
Oh,
No.
hell no.
Nah, I don't even think
nobody-
Roman has full creative control over his shit.
Hell no. Nobody does.
No,
Nor should he.
You
that's
might have
true.
some veto power, and you might get to say like, "I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that," but you ain't about to sit here and plot out your whole course and walk into the writers' meeting and say, "All right, y'all, this is what I'm doing. See y'all later."
So, bro,
I want to be champion for
Y'all
700 and something days.
So even Chris Jericho said that before he left, he had full creative control of what he wanted to do. Chris Jericho did before he came. Before he left and came back to WWE.
I would
He
believe
has
that to an extent.
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like you have we know Chris Jericho can be a little braggadocious at times. He might say he had full creative control in his mind, but it was like he pitched ideas and pretty much they would say yes. But at the same time, if they say we ain't doing that shit ain't fucking happening.
Oh, I know.
Bray Wyatt comes in there and says, I want to win the title Monday night on Raw. And he'd be like, no,
if they really want
he's
Wyatt,
not winning out.
if they really want Wyatt Brack, bro, and they know that he's going to make money for them, I'm just saying they going to put something in his contract that he really wants right now. He's not coming.
I agree with all that, but it ain't going to be full creative control.
Money.
There's no way in hell
That's
they're
what I
doing
want in my
that.
contract.
WWE's not doing that for anybody.
But look what happened. When they started having control over his stuff. Everything was fucked. You could tell.
I'm not saying that he won't have any say whatsoever. I'm saying he ain't getting 100%. is going to be something in the middle where he can plan. He can say, I like these things, I like this, or I don't want to do that, or I don't want to do this, and it's going to be a bit of a back and forth. But he ain't just about to sit there and walk in and completely plot out his whole course, his whole creative direction. That's just not happening.
Okay.
Because not only does that affect him, that affects one that WWE's not giving up that much of control of their product to a single person. For anybody, like
sure,
back in the day, back in the day, Bret Hart had a whole lot of creative control over his character. Basically, he was able to choose when he wanted to drop the title and not, which is why there were certain people in the past that he chose not to drop the title to that Vince wanted. He said no, and they rolled with it. But even at the end of the day, Montreal Screwjob still happening.
Wait,
Brett,
we'll have to wait until they make Bray's biography to really find out.
Like I said, like if Bray came back this Sunday and then said, "I want the title Monday," Triple H is gonna look at him and say, "Go sit your ass down somewhere."
I don't mean like that, bro. I don't mean like, yo, I need the title right now. I'm talking about over his character. I'm not talking about like, oh yeah, I want the title.
Like, they're not gonna sit here and like write his script and his promos or anything like that. They'll give him that freedom and stuff like that.
That's some Hulk Hogan shit, man. I'm not talking about Hulk Hogan like, give me the title now. Nah, that Hogan used to do that. And you know what I mean? Nah, not that, bro. I wouldn't even want that for him. You know what I mean?
Like he'll have the freedom to say what he wants in his promos. And if he pitches that, like, I want so and so and so and so in my stable, they'll probably be like, cool, if they're okay with it.
I mean, like, I'm just saying control of his character. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? That's all. Nah, ain't nobody saying I want the title. Give it to me now. Like that's out of control. Yeah, that's what I mean when I say like he ain't getting 100%. Like there's gonna be a limit in terms of how. I'm not that crazy, bro. I'm not that crazy.
He can say what he wants in his promos. They'll probably let that slide. And if he does go a little too far, so I'll be backstage to check him. Like, hey.
Oh, of course.
Down that back a bit, and they'll do that. If he decides he wants to have his staple and says, I want wrestler A, B, and C. They might say like, okay, we'll give you A and B, but no, we got plans for C. Mm-hmm. It'll be that. It'll be a collaborative effort between the two. I do agree.
How about you? Would you guys want to see Joe Gacy with him? Do you think that would work?
Because they are talking about calling. Well,
I don't know much about the guy.
Yeah, I don't watch enough NXT.
No, I don't think so. I mean, like, okay, I know.
Not in NXT anymore like I used to. So
why'd you ask? You just wanted me to just give you
just spitballing.
Yeah, dude.
What do you say?
Just spitballing. I do have one question. I do have a question for y'all though. That was calling back to what Doyle said earlier about the possibility of a Wyatt faction versus the Bloodline in War Games.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Let's I wouldn't. There's not like that. But let's talk about War Games for a second.
War Games.
It was revealed that War Games is going to be occurring at Survivor Series.
Yes,
and we're going to get one. We're going to get a men's War Games and a women's War Games match. So, what two factions would y'all like to see compete in those?
I'm telling you right now. Listen, I'll lay it out right now. Hold on. You got the Bloodline, and I'm telling you, I want Kevin Owens, I want Sami Zayn on that, and I want Gargano, and I want Ciampa.
Yep.
Is it going to happen? Absolutely not. But I would love that because that would be like Triple H's boys right there against the Bloodline.
You know it's going to be Triple H's boys against whoever, because it's going to be.
But like, not just that, like people who can actually deliver us a good fucking match at War Games, Hey,
Johnny Gargano is going to get back with Tommaso eventually. Mm-hmm. They're going to do their thing. Tommaso was talking about it before he got there. So they're going to do their thing.
Why?
And You got to think. You got to think they were all together. Him, Dexter, A Train, whatever. You know what I mean?
A Theory.
Yeah, man.
A Train. Austin Theory, you mean?
Big up A Train for this.
That's my man.
A Train dead, bro.
I'm talking.
No, he's still alive.
I'm talking about Austin Theory. I'm talking about Austin Theory.
Oh,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm talking about them being all back together.
Matt Bloom is still alive. He's 49 years old.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were talking about Prince Albert.
Yeah, Albert. I thought he was died.
No, he's 49 years old. Matt Bloom, he's still alive.
Shit. My bad. I ain't mean to wish death on that man.
Yeah,
My bad, Albert.
Don't he train? Don't he still train?
Yeah.
WWE.
Oh shit!
He did
Where
for
is
a
he
long
now?
time. He's still there.
I think he's in NXT, ain't he?
Yeah, man. Show some respect for Lord Tensai. Oh shit! Yeah, I mean, like after Tons of Funk disbanded, Bloom has taken off television in January of 2014.
Oh, I forgot about Tons of Funk.
He began working for WWE Developmental Territory NXT as commentator under the new ring name Jason Albert. He retired from in-ring action August 7th. Blah, 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 blah. He's been there since 2015 as a trainer. Oh, he's the head trainer since Bill DeMont left. He's the head trainer.
Because remember, when they used to show the old NXT, you would see he was there. Albert was there.
Alive.
I wasn't watching this.
One he was the one training everybody. He was like sitting there talking to them. You know what I mean? Even when Sasha and them were there.
Yeah, he was on Tough Enough.
Yeah, he was there. He's still there, I think. I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the rare, like me, guy from Boston that went to Pitt.
Yeah.
Tons of
Let's go to Pitt.
Back to the War Games thing.
Yeah, back to War Games.
Ideas on.
I think it's going to be I think it's got to be the Bloodline, and like I think it's going to be like an Avengers style team up of guys that just also hate the Bloodline. They've lost to Roman Reigns over the last 2 years.
Don't forget, we don't know who else is going to. We don't know if the Judgment Day is going to keep growing or if it's going to change.
Yeah, but they're
You know what I
heel
mean?
fashion.
Yeah, I don't think they have the stroke to be in the War Games match.
They don't.
No,
See,
definitely not.
I think.
So that's what I'm saying. We don't know how strong they're going to get until then. You know what I mean? We don't even know.
Better hurry up.
I'll say they better hurry the hell up because they ain't nowhere near
They're gonna
a War Games match right
I'm
now.
just saying. You see, they trying to beat AJ into it, and you know, I know AJ's resistant, but I mean, you only could take but so much. Finn did. Remember, they beating Finn up and.
See, the problem with that, though, is that they've been beefing with the same people for so damn long now. And it hasn't really escalated at all other than Dominic joining. And even then, even then, there's only 3 people in the staples. So unless they added a 4th, I don't see them having a 3-on-3 versus Edge, Ray. So what, Damian Priest, Dominic, and Finn versus Edge, Ray, and AJ Styles in a War Games match? Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that.
You're absolutely fucking right.
Now,
Nobody wants to see that shit.
Right. And as much as I agree with y'all that
I don't want
more than likely
War Games match, man. I want to see them guys face off against other big teams. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. They gotta make some more big teams up out there.
Well, we're only getting 2. We're only getting men's and women's, right? We're not getting 3 War Games matches.
They already got Bailey. We already know Bailey and her girls is going to be in War Games. They got to be.
I think it's a good chance of that. But before we jump to the women, on the men's side, though, as much as I agree with y'all that we'll probably see the Bloodline in the War Games match, just because it gets Roman Reigns on a pay-per-view without having to work a heavy load in a solo match. And I could see them taking on, if they that is all contingent, I think, on the Sami Zayn thing coming to a head sooner than we think, which I'm still not certain that that's going to happen that quickly, because it would basically have to start right after this Extreme Rules, because the next pay-per-view after this is Survivor Series. I could theoretically see that happening with Sami Zayn teaming up with Kevin Owens and maybe some others taking on the Bloodline.
Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I hope that doesn't happen personally.
But don't forget Sheamus and his boys.
Now, see, that's what I was about to go with.
I totally forgot about them.
No, not them against Bloodline. Sheamus against Bloodline. No.
Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, they're playing good right now. Sheamus is turning face.
Yeah, but I don't want to see them against the Bloodline.
No, not against the Bloodline, no. I see them still going against it.
What I was about to pitch, though, what I was going to pitch.
I'm saying it might not be this War Games might not just be two teams, bro. It might be more than one. You never know. It could be. They building a lot of factions right now.
Didn't they do a 3-on-3-on-3 in NXT one of the times?
I'm just saying.
I don't think it worked that well.
Yeah.
I think you gotta go with
War Games has always worked the best when it's just been one team versus another team.
Yeah, I agree.
When they try to mix it up and put too many in there, it's never worked. They tried it in WCW when they had Team WCW versus NWO Hollywood and NWO Wolfpack, and it's widely regarded as one of the worst War Games ever. It just doesn't work. But I would say, going back to the Brawling Brutes, I would like to see them in the War Games, and if it was me booking it, I would pit them against Imperium and put them in a War Games match. They're already beefing with each other.
That would be good. Yeah,
that's what I want to see. They're already beefing with each other, and it hasn't run its course to the point where it's gotten stale yet. And you can tell the way they fight each other, that beef is real, and they can just keep escalating that up and then let it culminate at War Games.
Yeah, but why can't we have a return to normal Survivor Series matches? And have those 5-on-4 and 4, 5-on-5 elimination matches. That not everything has to be War Games.
Everything's not gonna be War Games.
No,
there's gonna be one.
This is the first time they're bringing War Games to the main roster. You know, I don't see it being done often. I mean, I see this being a once and done thing. If anything, War Games probably gets its own pay-per-view after this.
Maybe I think they're doing this. They're doing this. I think to help elevate. To try to elevate Survivor Series back up to the level of prestige that the other four have.
Yes.
Because Royal Rumble has its prestige, WrestleMania has his, and SummerSlam has his, and Survivor Series is kind of like that.
Bro, they bringing it to the main roster because NXT sucks. There's nobody you want to see in a freaking War Games there right now, bro.
Yeah. Survivor Series needs the boost because right now it's the wobbly shopping cart wheel.
Yeah,
and which is kind of sad because it's because after WrestleMania, it's the oldest pay-per-view that they have.
Yes, Survivor Series is always one of my favorites as a kid.
Yeah, and I think they still might have a traditional Survivor Series match. I don't want to see a pay-per-view of nothing but Survivor Series matches like it was back in the day. But they have.
I mean, I like this.
That could get real.
I would love to see that.
I would like to see them do one. Maybe like I wouldn't mind seeing them maybe do a Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series style match.
But weren't we just saying how we just want to see it's Extreme Rules? It should be extreme. It's Survivor Series. It should be about Survivor Series.
Yeah, and they can have a Survivor Series match, but I don't want to see a whole pay-per-view of just Survivor Series matches. To me, that's too gimmicky.
That is too much. Well, they've done that before. They did do that before.
That's how it used to be.
Yeah,
that's just exclusively what it was.
Survivor Series was.
There wasn't a single one-on-one match.
I just think if the matches are going to be good, then it'll be worth it. That's all I'm saying. If they're going to be good, it'll be worth it. Not if they're going to be like filler matches of it. You know what I mean? All the matches have to be actually good for it to be.
It's not just the fact that the matches have to be good; they have to have storylines going into them that make sense. And like, how do you write storylines for that many people or that many views? Like, I don't have the confidence in the WWE writing team.
They managed to do it in 1989.
It was really
much smaller roster, and honestly, most of those didn't really have storylines. A lot of them were just.
It wasn't really big.
Motherfuckers versus y'all motherfuckers. And y'all beef going into the show.
Yeah.
And also, you only had to worry about one show a week. And so the storyline telling was much slower back then, too.
Well, the storyline used to be one team, somebody saying, okay, well, Team Morton against Team freaking Cena. You know what I mean? Like, it would just be two stars who would just get people on their freaking teams and they would have Survivor Series match. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a storyline of a bunch of people. It never really was with Survivor Series. It was like it was like this team against this team, and they were just throwing teams together. You know what I mean? So I know what you mean. Yeah, it was.
And I wouldn't be opposed for them doing that with Survivor Series this time around. One match, one Survivor Series match. I wouldn't have a problem with them doing that. Like get their Adam Pearce. Like we're having a Survivor Series. Like he could come out there to the ring, announce a Survivor Series match. Here's the captain of this team. Here's the captain of this team. Go find your competitors, and y'all about to have at it. And that could be the storyline going into it. I'm cool with that.
I feel you. I just don't know what they're going to do with all these teams these factions they've been putting together. They've been putting pretty many together lately.
They've built up a good number of, like I said, Brutes, Imperium, Judgment Day, Bloodline, and we got Damage Control on the women's side.
Right, and it's getting a lot of these people FaceTime on TV because, I mean, that's one thing I always said that was good with AEW is like, yeah, they have a lot of factions, but at least these people are getting fucking TV time. You know, screen time. Doesn't matter what kind.
I mean, we can't. I'm thinking about. I wonder if we ever going to see. Well, I guess we never going to see the 4 horsewomen fight, huh? Because well, remember at one point they were teasing the 4 women of NXT against the 4 horsewomen of MMA. Remember?
Yeah, I think we discussed this before, but like their prestige is just not on the level of like Sasha and Charlotte and Bayley and and Becky. Like
we know that, but I'm just saying it would they could definitely find a way to do it. You know what I mean? Because it's MMA against professional wrestling.
Well, Paige Van Zandt is one of them women, right? The MMA women. She's in AAW.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2 of them are not here anymore.
Yeah,
2 of them are gone. They got sent away. You know what I mean? So that's why I said it wouldn't happen anymore. But we still got a chance for Ronda and Shayna to make a team together because they've been doing it on live events right now. So I don't know. They've been teaming on live events lately.
Really?
So I don't. Yeah. I've seen them teaming on live events on Twitter. And on the last one, I seen Shayna made a mistake and kneed Ronda in the face while she was holding, I think, who was she holding? I forget who she was holding in her arms. She was holding her for Shayna to kick the person, and Shayna made a mistake and, basically kicked Ronda in the face by mistake, knocked her out. But so they basically been showing them teaming on live events. So I knew eventually them 2 was going to get together in some type of way, or either fight each other in some type of way. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ronda loses to what's the name of Extreme Rules, that they start a tag team together and try to get the tag team belts together.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that is the direction that they will probably go with Ronda and them. I think they're going to have Liv win and try to continue on with her as champion. And I could see Shayna Baszler and Ronda forming a tag team. Yeah. And then they could team up for a while, maybe even win the titles, and then eventually fall apart. That could lead into a Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler match at WrestleMania that a lot of people have wanted to have for quite some time now. But we never talked about the women's War Games match yet, which I think, do we all agree that it's probably going to involve Damage Control versus Bianca and her clique?
100%.
I hope by then it's past that, to be honest. I hope they've moved on from that and we get something else, because that's what I'm seeing every damn week. And I'm tired of this 6-person tag matches, this little 6-on-6 or 3-on-3 feud. Like, move it along. You crush them. Let's after this. Hopefully, after this, then Damage Control moves on to somebody else to destroy. I guess.
I have Alexa though.
I'm about to say, they got to. Who do they move on to? Because I mean, if Bayley ain't pursuing the title, then
and what other group of women would you replace?
There was talk about them bringing Toxic Attraction up to
don't forget that.
For War Games.
He ain't bringing up
Sasha and Naomi might come back. So you know what I mean.
I don't know. I mean, Sasha Banks went back to putting her Twitter account back to her real name recently.
No, I know.
But I think in her bio it does still say Sasha Banks WWE.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
It does go to her real name. I think Sasha Banks is still mentioned in her bio. But with the damage control thing, I don't think that feud has completely run its course yet, because I don't see this match between Bianca and Bayley, which we'll discuss later. I don't see that being the end of it.
Yeah,
by any means.
Of course not. They're definitely not gonna put Bianca on the back burner just because if Bayley decides to be there. It'll be another rematch.
Oh yeah,
they'll be for a while. You know what I mean? Because they need, that's Bianca's Joker right there. That's her bad guy.
Yeah. To me, the only real question mark in it is it being a 3-on-3? To me, that seems too small. I think they need another person. Like, just and the same. And by the same token, my idea of Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. I think that match needs one more person on each side as well.
I'm telling you,
3 war games don't really work that well. They have done 4-on-4 war games before, and they've done 5-on-5. I think 5-on-5 might be too much for them to try to pull off in a month, adding 2 people to each side. But I think they could add 1. And in terms of like the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium, that's space to add, and you can easily squeeze in Karrion Kross on the Imperium side and Drew McIntyre picking up with the Brawling Brutes, and there's your 4-on-4.
Oh, yeah.
And just now on the one side,
I don't think Karrion Kross with them though. I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they'll.
I'm sorry, you're dusting the mothballs off on this. You're putting the biggest name you got in it, and that's Roman Reigns. I appreciate wanting something different. That's fine, and I'm not saying I disagree with you. But it's going to be the bloodline. It's going to be.
Like I said, I can see that happening, but the problem is, the only thing is, I can see it happening. Like I said, and it makes sense for that to happen. The only question in my mind is just who do they face?
Like if they do this again next year,
who do they face with any type of credibility? That's the other thing. Because if the only way I see that the bloodline thing works, even though I think they might, even though common sense probably says they go that route. The only way to me it works with any type of real intrigue and credibility is if Sami Zayn gets kicked out of the group.
Yeah, I was just about to say it could be the turning point that we
right.
That could definitely be something that happens over the course of the match.
But what if that doesn't happen? What if Sami Zayn is still part of the bloodline? Who the hell can they face with any type of credibility?
I don't know.
I mean, if Sami loses the match, that might lead to his ouster.
Yeah,
but they might blame him for getting pinned or giving up, or are they? How are they doing it? What are the rules for this? Do we know? Are they doing a match beyond thing? Where you have to quit? Somebody has to quit. Is it?
My guess is, given that Triple H is a big fan of the old school style of war games, I think it's going to be old school style.
Yeah.
1-on-1, one person coming in, one at a time until all 8 or 10 competitors in the ring, and then from there.
That's fine. I liked it like
match
that.
Beyond, win by submit or surrender.
Yeah. Right. Somebody has to quit, basically.
Yeah. So, submit or surrender. I think they had quit or they're beaten until they can't beat any further. Because I think that's how
that's happened.
That's how it happened one time in the past. It was
JJ Dillon, I think.
No. The JJ Dillon one, somebody else quit. They threatened to beat the crap out of JJ Dillon and made somebody else quit. I'm thinking of the I think it was Dudes with Attitudes versus 4 Horsemen, where Sid Vicious was in the 4 Horsemen at the time, and he powerbombed the shit out of Brian Pillman twice, and to where Brian Pillman was basically unconscious in the ring, and they counted it as a surrender. And that's how the match ended.
I think you got to kind of where you got Roman and all of them on one side, so you need a big guy on the other side. So you get somebody like Bobby Lashley maybe to join Kevin Owens in them. You know what I mean? Like
Kevin Owens and who?
A big person.
What about Brock?
Huh?
I could see Brock getting involved in it somehow.
Brock's not a team player, though.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar is definitely not a team player, though.
No, but he got beat by Roman. He got beat by Roman Reigns.
And he's not slated to make another appearance until Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fulfilled. I think they said he's fulfilled. No, that's Goldberg, who they said has fulfilled all his days. Yeah, I don't see him bringing back Brock for that. But, again, are you working on the premise that the bloodline is this the bloodline with Sami Zayn in it or without?
What you mean? Like if they get Bobby on their side and stuff like that?
Yeah, you was talking about having other people to go against them. Are you talking about having another team go against them?
I would still think that Sammy would be there, but I'm just saying that with this whole match, with later on in the match, can predict Sammy still being in the blood.
But I hear that, but I'm saying before you even get to the later on in the match, you still got to have 5 opponents. Theoretically, because I would assume if it's the whole bloodline, it's going to be all 5 of them: the Usos, Sammy, Roman.
If you got,
what about Sikoa?
And Sikoa, I would be all 5 of them. So my question still is: what 5 people can you credibly put up against them to make an interesting match?
I'm thinking Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, Johnny Gargano. If his boy could come back. What's his name? Tommaso Ciampa. And if I think of one more,
that's basically what I was thinking, but with Lashley.
They could put Drew. They could put Drew in there. They could, but you know what I mean. For all we know, they'll find some star to come and take a spot. We never know. It could be Bad Bunny. Who knows? But you know what I mean. Like I'm just trying to think who could be that 5th guy that they could put in there. Because it can't be Austin Theory.
And see, to me, that's the problem with putting the bloodline in the match.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel you.
Like you can't come up with 5 people to credibly go up against them. And even if with the team that you suggested,
what about?
Hold on. Even with the team that you suggested, that's a lot of talent you're sucking up in one match. You put Bobby Lashley in that, now you can't have a U.S. title match.
Yep.
Unless you take the title off of him beforehand, and then that's in another feud. And again, that's a lot of talent you're gobbling up in one match. That leaves the rest of your card kind of skimp.
Yeah, but that could be them guys can go for a long time. They could prolong that match. Look how long Johnny Gargano and the matches be. They had some freaking 5-star matches that lasted a while.
Yeah, I'm not questioning the quality that the match could be, but what do you do with the rest of your card if you're putting up that much real estate in one match?
And you don't really need to put the U.S. title on the line in there. They could put some other matches in there. You know what I mean? I guess they just got to fill it out. I mean, it has a match. I don't know. Who got the Intercontinental title right now?
Gunther.
Gunther has a title,
but it might be Sheamus as soon as tomorrow.
It could be. Yeah, that's what I mean, guys. Like, you guys, we're talking about War Games, and War Games is not for a while from now, Survivor Series, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess we do have to see how things are going to come out before then.
Yeah, I think things we'll see. We'll have a better picture after Extreme.
Yeah, that's in November. Yeah. We still got a little bit.
I think people are still Triple H is still bringing people back. There's still people coming from NXT. It's going to be more people there before Survivor Series and stuff happens. So we just got to see how it turns out. You still got big names like freaking. What's his name? NXT champion. What's the NXT champion's name?
Braun Breaker.
You got that guy who's going to be a breakout talent. You know what I mean? Like
but not necessarily next month. Eventually.
No, you never know, bro. I'm just saying, you just never know. Some people become stars overnight. It just depends on the right timing. Right timing is the only thing that matters in wrestling. You know what I mean? So,
is next month the right timing for Braun Breaker?
Anybody can become a star. Braun Breaker definitely can.
But that's not the question. But the thing is, like,
he's a guy that can believably beat Roman Reigns when he gets to the time. He's believable.
Ooh.
I think so.
Wait, who?
He's a strong guy, bro. He's a strong.
But he ain't about to pop up on the roster and take down no Roman
No.
Reigns.
Oh, I'm not saying right away. I'm not saying right away. I'm just saying he has the potential to beat a person like Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
He has the power.
eventually down the line. But we're not talking about eventually down the line. We're talking about next month.
I'm just saying.
Like 4 weeks from now.
Never know.
All right. Anyway,
All about surprises.
let's move into the actual review of Extreme Rules. But before we're going to do that, we're going to take a quick break because I've been drinking. I would like to take a piss break. So yeah, let's take a break.
Up in smoke. Brother. You're on. Oh, here we go. And
I told you, baby. I told you. We all want to go big.
all right.
Did it? Yeah.
Right through the stairs. That was Seth Rollins. A WrestleMania moment. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Looking at him. Rollins. Opportunistic stomp against an
One up, last opportunity.
The king of the summer. Sunday. Aren't here anymore.
But for that reason,
Unshakable. He may be unshakable, but he sure is not. He's got another thing coming. Come on now. Light. The right one. You're all night. Rollins, baby.
you guys.
And we're back. Come on, guys. You know what that's from, right?
It sounds.
No, I don't.
That's from
They're
Reading
like Saturday
Rainbow.
cartoons or something.
It's from Reading Rainbow.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Why? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I just do because we can and we do. That's why. All right. So I'm pretty fucking psyched for this match card. I'm just because everything is going to be extreme, and when shit gets extreme, shit ends up in the crowd, and that's where we're gonna be. You know. I'm just gonna go in the order that they have them listed here. It may not be the order that they're gonna be in because I definitely don't think the way they have them lined up here is how they're gonna end. All right,
We don't know the main event.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, we still got another another SmackDown still
Yeah.
before this even happens. So
right.
the go home show.
I hope we get another match or two.
Yeah, I
At
mean,
least
like
one more because I honestly, if you're looking at the card just overall, there's not a single Bloodline match up there, and I can't see the entire Bloodline taking the pay-per-view off.
There's a lot of people not on this show.
yeah,
A lot of people.
yeah.
The only titles that are up are the women's titles.
Right.
Right, and
Obviously,
oh, go ahead.
hey, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Well, obviously the U.S. title is not going to be up because that's slated to be defended on the Raw after. So, and the Intercontinental title is not going to be up because of the Brutes and the Imperium match.
Right. So we'll just roll into that one.
The champion even scheduled to be there.
Yeah, like that. That's what I mean. This one's very weird. You know, we're not getting any, bloodline, but whatever. We don't have to sit through like a 15-minute fucking entrance. Then I have enough time to go to the fucking bathroom and come back. But the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch versus Imperium, Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci. Who do you guys have? I mean, I think this is where the Brawling Brutes go over.
I think this is going to be stupid fun. And I think whoever wins Friday, tomorrow, whoever wins the IC title, that team will lose the next night. So if Sheamus wins the title, I think Imperium will win the good old-fashioned Donnybrook. And vice versa. If Sheamus fails to win, I think the Brawling Brutes will win the good old-fashioned Donnybrook.
Yeah, so what is a good old-fashioned Donnybrook? It's just,
Didn't they just do that a couple months ago?
I feel like
Sheamus and
Jeff
Drew?
Hardy? Oh.
And they had the Irish flag, and they had it backwards, so it looked like the Ivory Coast flag instead.
They have a description up on WWE.com, and it says a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match is a variation of the Extreme Rules match with an Irish flair. The bout incorporates a variety of shillelaghs and other implements of destruction from the region and opens the floodgates on all-out anarchy. So basically, it's an Extreme Rules match with weapons. In this case, Irish weapons. Yeah. And you're just going to be swinging on each other with shillelaghs and all this stuff. Yeah. And others.
Well, I wonder if they'll let me bring my shillelagh to the arena.
You can try. It'll probably make it through the metal detector, right?
I have 3 shillelaghs. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, we should all show up with shillelaghs.
Could you imagine if the match spills to the outside and gets close to y'all and you toss your shillelagh to like Sheamus and he whacks the shit out of Gunther with it?
Take my shillelagh!
ECW and the guy through the leg.
So we'll see. If you get through the metal detector with it, then you're good.
It's wood. Oh, yeah. It should be
all wood. Hand it to Sheamus, let him crack Gunther with it, and hand it back to you.
Yeah, this is one I could see spilling all over the arena. All over the place.
A goodie. It's going to be a goodie.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's like it depends. It depends on who wins on Friday night.
I really think they should put it on Sheamus so he can get his Grand Slam.
I think so. If they do, then that means that they have another direction for Gunther. He's probably going to go for a different title then. You know what I mean? He might go after Bobby Lashley. That'll be good matches. Another big guy for them to, you know what I mean, beat on each other. So
I think it's time for him to level up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I said that last month.
He's going to level up fast. He's going to be such a big heel in his company. He really is. He you know what I mean? He's good. He knows how to make people. He knows how to bring the heat on himself. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Gunther is set for a level up and a push. I just don't know if I want it to happen yet. And I do like the prospect of Bobby Lashley versus Gunther. That could make for a really good feud if they decided to move all of Imperium over to Raw, which I don't know that they're going to do. Man, it's kind of hard to pick this one because I'm still holding out hope that they could go into a War Games match. But man, having them team up face each other like this and in the Extreme Rules pay-per-view kind of seems like it's has a level of finality to it, one way or the other. Like we're going to get a definitive winner in the IC title match Friday, and then this is going to be the final coup de grace to it.
That's true.
Kind of sucks too. I was hoping they would have a games match, but yeah, one way or the other. I think Sheamus probably wins Friday, and Imperium takes the match.
Well, I mean,
Wins the
if
battle,
Friday-
loses the war.
He'll win Friday. He'll win Friday if they could keep Butch in line. But he might get the whole match disqualified, and it'll just spill into Saturday. We
They could go that route too. I hope they don't, because I feel like that's probably the way they're going to go to. We're not going to get a definitive winner.
Yeah, and then it'll be a disqualification, and they'll spill into Saturday. So
And it's just going to be it's just going to be used as a way to fuel the match itself.
Yeah, everybody will start fighting each other tomorrow night, and then it'll just heat up Saturday night. You know what I mean?
And maybe
you got to think a lot of these matches are going to get time because
we'll get another stare down from Sheamus and freaking Gunther.
Well, everything else is going crazy.
Yeah, I do like when they do that shit.
I love that right there, though. I love that.
Yeah.
That thing was brilliant when they did it on SmackDown a few weeks back.
Definitely. It was just chaos around him, and it was just a calm.
That shit was whoever came up with that idea. Freaking give that person a raise.
Yeah,
we really enjoyed their match last pay-per-view. So like, I'm happy for this to continue. So,
that was the match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean,
certainly could be.
Clash of the Castle. Yeah, that was match of the night.
Sheamus lie, man. Sheamus don't lie when he say he does bangers and bangers, man. He does. Sheamus has good matches, bro. He does have a lot of great matches with McIntyre. I mean, almost everybody he fights, he has great matches. I used to love to watch him and Cena. That was great. He does have good matches, man. So we will definitely see. He likes to hit. Actually, just to go off a little bit, it still was Sheamus in it. But did you see how? I know y'all. I don't know who watches AEW here, but it's like an interview with Andrade. How he's saying how Sammy Guerrero was saying how he hits too hard or something like that. You know what I mean? And then Andrade was saying how he was talking about like if this guy doesn't want to get hit, he shouldn't be wrestling because he had matches with like guys like Sheamus and all of them, and he said Sheamus likes to hit hard, and he likes that about Sheamus because he said Sheamus is one of those guys. He's in the ring, man. He likes to hit. You know what I mean? So that's what I like about Sheamus, and you could tell that Sheamus actually likes to get hit and he likes to give it. You know what I mean? Because at the end, you see his body, he can welt it.
Oh yeah, dude, both those guys.
That's what works about Sheamus is the fact that he can work stiff, but he's willing to take it back, as opposed to somebody in the past like a hardcore Holly, who's known for being an extremely stiff worker, but wouldn't necessarily take the punishment back.
JBL.
It's guys like that. JBL too. Yeah. Super stiff worker, but wouldn't necessarily take it back from anybody unless you were like a top star. Sheamus will knock the crap out of you and tell you, "Hey, hit me back just as hard as I hit you."
Yep. Andrade said even Miz. He said even Miz will take hits and give them and give them back. He said, and even the Miz will. You know what I mean? And that's why I like him because Daniel Bryan. Look at Daniel Bryan, man. Daniel Bryan will take a beating. I mean, his body is like crazy, especially since he's been in AEW. Dude's been like getting like beat the hell out of him. You just got to take that, man. You got to take that. Want to be one of the greats.
Okay, moving on to the next match. Edge versus Finn Balor with the Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley in an I Quit match. My theory is that Edge is going to quit, and it's going to give Finn the big boost that he needs right now as the leader of the Judgment Day. And I think the way they're going to do it is maybe they're going to use Beth Phoenix in this to make him say I quit. I mean, I can see Rhea Ripley dragging Beth Phoenix out. I mean, it's a possibility. But
I had basically the same thought. Ray, I also think might be a candidate for the that role if Beth Phoenix doesn't do it. I kind of hate these matches. you're kind of it's the same problem I have with last man standing matches. Although that at least gets the crowd into it with the counting. But I hate matches where you're constantly just stopping things. To try to get them to say I quit, to try to get them for the 10 count.
Mm-hmm.
Matches like this just seem so disjointed to me.
Definitely, yeah. I agree with you to a certain extent, yeah, because a lot of times it just breaks down to, okay, I'm going to beat on you a little bit, put you in a submission move. Ask him. No.
Yeah.
No. Like, most people, if you ask them what...
I think I know what's up. I think when I seen Edge give that interview, when he was saying, "You're not going to make me say I quit," it made me go back to when. Well, basically, I think Finn is going to beat him by putting a recording on of him saying I quit.
They're going to run back Foley Rock.
I think they're going to run it back. The way he said I quit twice like that, and that when he just did that promo, it made I was like, why is he saying it like that? You know what I mean? And I'm like, I think they're going to cheat. I think they're going to find a way to, go back in the day with it. It's been years, you know what I mean? There's still people that might not remember that. It's a young crowd, so I don't know.
That's a distinct possibility.
Yeah.
I think that that would be interesting and creative.
Yeah, it would be. It would, except for doing the old, have somebody come out throwing the white towel. Oh, please don't.
Yep. Like they could do that. I think the best way for that to work, though,
beat the hell out of them, and say I quit.
I'd say the way that would work though is Finn Balor has to beat the absolute living shit out of Edge. Like you can't do that with a submission hold. It's got to be almost shades of Rock and Mankind match. Where Edge is basically beat down and Finn Balor is just beating on him and beating on him and beating on him.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not going to do the chair shots thing like that because that's outlawed in WWE now. Is chair shots to the head, but probably something where he's beating on him with some weapon of some sort. And they end up like Edge doesn't quit, but they play the tape of him, the recording of him saying it, and that works because rumor is that Finn Balor is set for a pretty significant push.
That would be a big push, though.
And if he beats the living shit out of Edge and does that in a convincing way, that could be the thing that sets him on his way.
Oh yeah,
they really need to shit or get off the pot with the Judgment Day too. Because what have they done? I mean, not a fuck of a lot.
Well, exactly.
They picked up Dominic, and they ruined his relationship with his father.
They actually got me to kind of be interested in Edge for a minute. And when he left,
we won't see Edge for a while after this.
Really.
Well, that's how he's been. He gets his ass beat, then he leaves for a while.
Yeah, but they got to do something with Judgment Day or get rid of them because they haven't done shit. And it's time to step up or step out. What the hell is the point?
I think they're going to find out. I think they're going to just find out who's going to fight Edge at WrestleMania for his last match. Like, who's it going to be? I think that's the thing about it. I think Edge is. I think after this, Edge is just going to find out who his actual last match is going to be in the ring. It could be Randy. You know what I mean? But I think it could be somebody else. It should be somebody else.
Yeah, it should be a younger talent.
It could be somebody else, but I don't think WrestleMania is going to be his last match.
Yeah, his comeback matches were against Randy. His go-away match, I think it should be against somebody else.
Yeah, but I don't think WrestleMania is going to be his last match, though.
No,
there was a story that I think that came out a while ago where I think last time he was in Canada.
It was like 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. He cut a promo with the audience afterwards where he said something to the effect that he would love for that to be his last match. So to take place in Canada, and I think and I think there's some pay-per-view next year that is slated to happen in Canada. I think maybe SummerSlam next year or something that. Around the summertime of next year, I think is when we'll see Edge's last match. But getting back to the Edge and Finn Balor match, and as far as the future of Judgment Day, I think their elevation is going to start here.
Oh yeah,
at least with Finn Balor.
Better
because so far. So far, the most interesting person in the faction has been Rhea Ripley. Honestly,
it's true. It's true. She's been
So I think
entertaining as hell.
they're going to elevate Finn Balor up, and I think with his elevation, that's going to help lift up Judgment Day as well.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley will continue doing her thing with Dom, and ideally, hopefully, she gets back in the ring at some point.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing a good job of keeping her interesting while not wrestling, but at some point, she's gonna have to, get physical again. I don't know if she's still out recovering from whatever injury she sustained or concussion or whatever it was.
Yeah. I think they were waiting. I think they just wanted to, she's on TV, but they didn't want her to take bumps and all that, which she's been doing good at what she's been doing without taking bumps right now. So
she's been delivering all offense.
Yeah, I think that's going to turn around. I think it's going to turn around, and I think she's going to have a big push because, I think all of them are going to do big things after this. If this goes down like it should, just been elevating everybody all together. You know what I mean? So.
Well, I'm wondering, they're supposed to be so evil. Corey Graves won't shut the fuck up about how they're a cohesive unit that's only purpose is to destroy
That sounds just like him, too. It's a cohesive unit.
You've never done that. You haven't done that. It's like, what the fuck? So I'm wondering if I think Wayne, maybe you said Beth Phoenix. I wonder if they do the evil thing, the horrible thing. I wonder if they do end up doing it, whatever it is.
There, he took away a child from his father. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, they have to do something to supplant themselves as this fucking evil force, or they just have to get the fuck out and do something else.
Yeah, that's true. You ain't lying about that. Like, they have to, they have to elevate after this. They have to. You know what I mean? Like, if they're called the Judgment Day, so I think they should also do more with
are they going to seriously injure Beth Phoenix or Rey Mysterio? And I don't mean just put them to a table. I mean fucking fuck them the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If any pay-per-view would be the one to do it, it would be Extreme Rules.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Like,
if you want us to take these people seriously as evil and dastardly and whatever, you got to fucking do something despicable.
Yeah, but why aren't they? Why aren't they doing that though? Why aren't they doing more with their name? Like, well, shouldn't they be doing something like basically casting judgment on people? Like, well, shouldn't they be doing more of that? You know what I mean?
The writers had no direction for them for the longest time.
That name's never made sense.
It never has. And now that Triple H is in it, he's just now trying to figure out what to do with them.
Yeah.
Remember, they were formed while Vince was still running things.
Yeah.
Edge was
Vince and his writing is shit.
Yeah. Edge was doing the right thing with it when he would say things about, you know what I mean? He would actually.
They had a little supernatural twinge. I kind of liked the direction they were in with Edge, but since they changed, and I love Finn. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, we all do.
It's like, what the fuck, man? Like,
Finn should be so much further in WWE right now than he is right now.
Right.
He should be so much more because the guy is like incredible, and he like I think he should have been so much more. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, I think one of the biggest what ifs in at least the last 5-10 years. What if Finn doesn't blow his shoulder out immediately after winning the first Universal title, right?
Exactly.
Like, he's just been kind of fucked ever since then.
Yeah.
Imagine if that hadn't happened and he had like a kind of epic, nice 9-month reign or something.
It's like he hurt his shoulder, and Vince was like, "See, that's why I don't like giving it to little guys. God damn it!"
That's pretty much exactly what it was.
Yeah,
there's still room for them to work after this match with Edge, because I mean, Finn Balor still has this thing going on with AJ Styles, so I can see after they take out Edge, I can see them shifting his focus towards AJ Styles, and that being the feud that at least Finn Balor is involved in probably through the remainder of the year. And they just need to figure out, what to do with the rest of the faction, because, you can't focus entirely on Finn and then just have the rest of them playing subordinates. That doesn't elevate the whole faction as a whole. It just basically makes it look like a Todd Dye and his minions.
Well, what is Priest gonna do when his boy Bad Bunny comes back? What's going to happen with that?
That's down the line.
I like how that's what your biggest concern is, Bad Bunny. Well, what about Bad Bunny? Oh my goodness! All right,
That's great. Oh
Right.
no! What? When is that? When is the fight? Is that's Crown Jewel when Roman and what's his
Logan
name fighting,
Paul?
right? Paul.
yeah.
Right.
Is that Crown Jewel? When is Crown Jewel?
I think that's next, right?
No,
Is that
Survivor
next?
Series is next.
Survivor Series is at the end of November. I didn't know if this was, Crown Jewel's the beginning of November.
They act like Crown Jewel is like right around the corner. You know what I mean? Like the way
I don't know.
right now.
Let's see.
They're showing it like every week. They're showing Paul with Roman right now, so that's like supposed to be the next big thing. So
Crown Jewel is Saturday, November 5th.
the way they pushing this,
Yeah,
to
it
make
is.
it seem so
That's
big.
before.
Okay, so Survivor. When the fuck is
Survivor Series is the end of November.
Yeah, it's at the end of November.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Crown Jewel is kind of gonna be. It's gonna be a PLE.
It's going to be a glorified house show.
Yeah. It's just gonna be. That's gonna be kind of a throwaway.
Well, of
They're gonna
course.
have
That's what they
matches
always-
that really don't amount to a whole lot. I don't think storyline wise. While
No.
they build up towards Survivor Series as the next
Yeah.
major show.
They're just counting on Paul to bring them a lot of money from his people, from his viewers, and all that other stuff that he brings when he comes. That's all Triple H and them doing right now. They make that extra money from him. You know what I mean? That's-
Yeah, we know that.
You show up, you make us money. That's your contract, bro.
Right.
You bring the noise. That's it.
Yeah, we know what this is all about.
Yeah. Pretty much. Roman's probably going to tear this dude in two. You know what I mean? So he'll have his licks though. He'll get a little something off. He looked like he got a little athletic. So
Yeah, I just
You know what I
want to
mean?
see him get speared.
yeah, he I know, but he's bringing up his wrestling background and all that from when he was in school and stuff like that. So he's giving they
Right.
making him seem like a baby face right now. So
So,
We'll get to
guys,
that when that comes up.
we are
Yeah.
having the first ever women's ladder match for the Raw Women's title.
yeah.
And I say it's the first one because we've had Money in the Bank matches, but this is the first ladder match. And I heard through the grapevine that they lowered the ladders. The average, they used to be up to 15 feet, and I heard they lowered them down to like 10 for the women.
What?
Yeah, so the ladders are a little bit lower, indicating that the title might be lowered for these women. But
Okay.
this is where I think Bayley goes over and dethrones Bianca, whether it's help from damage control or we get somebody making a return. Because they showed that Asuka was pretty banged up, and they took Alexa Bliss kind of out, so Bianca kind of has like no backup, going into this match. They kind of showed that on the last, was it Raw, how they pretty much dominated all three of them. So
Also,
like I said, I think this is where Bayley goes over.
Only they needed somebody else to come and save the day.
Two,
Exactly.
superstars. I definitely think we're gonna get a good match, and we're gonna probably see Dakota Kai and Io Sky interfere some way, shape, or form. Maybe we'll see them get put through a table or something. But yeah, Bayley. That's what I got.
Yeah. I see somebody.
What do
I
you
see
think, Dre?
somebody coming to help Bianca. Probably. It could be Triple H bringing somebody else in there. Bring the ladies in.
Oh well, I think I think there's a clear way, if it's anybody, and that is the man, Becky Lynch.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about Becky Lynch. Well, they said Charlotte's coming back too, so I don't know. I don't see her coming to help Bianca, of course. But
Yeah, well, we'll get to Charlotte's possible return.
yeah.
But I think this would be a prime spot. Well, and also I'm thinking if we only got 6 matches, man, we got to be getting other shit too, right?
Yeah.
So
I think so.
I mean, we're getting the White Rabbit reveal apparently. but I figure they're going to be giving us some other shit. And some of that might be returning people. And I think in this match, a person that's ripe for the return would be Becky Lynch. I agree with Wayne. All signs point to Bayley should be winning this match. The only reservation I have there, though, is that Dakota and Io have the tag titles. Do we really need yet another faction that has all the belts? Like, we're already doing that somewhere else. That's super redundant.
Yeah, I was,
and that's kind of the only reason I think Bianca as the challenger is better, frankly. And I love her. I mean, I think she's one of the. I think she's already one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time, and she's just getting started. So I don't know where she. I mean, she might be number one, and there might be a long place between her and number two by the time she's done.
Even if you're right, even if they take the belt from her, she'll get it again. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not worried about it. You know.
Yeah,
I think the money with her though is in shape. She's like a underdog kind of baby face person. Like her best story is going after the thing. She has the thing already.
Exactly. And to lose to somebody of Bayley's caliber, come on. I mean, it's Bayley. You know what I mean? Bayley stuck it out before she got hurt through the whole pandemic. Bayley did her thing, man. You can't take nothing away from her. So,
and like I said, the only reason I think Bayley won't win this is because I just think it's too redundant to have two stables that have all the belts. If Dakota and Io didn't have their belts, I would say Bayley all day in this. I just don't see it. I just don't see it doing. I hope they don't do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you as well. Like, as far as it, Bianca does seem primed to lose the title, and she's had it for the longest time now, since WrestleMania. I mean, she's got to lose it at some point. And it would seem like this would be prime pay-per-view for her to drop it, especially if we get the return of somebody like a Becky Lynch, and it turns out to be a swerve or a double cross.
Yeah,
which would set up Bianca, Becky Lynch again. Which that's kind of what turns me off to the Becky Lynch return in terms of her being a return and a swerve. Now she could return and save Bianca, and Bianca wins.
I think that's what would happen. She gained her respect. She hates Bayley.
Right, and it could go that way and help keep the title on Bianca.
And then she's the fourth for War Games.
That could work out very well. Now, what also could happen, and this is a Hail Mary long shot.
Yeah.
And I don't honestly, I'm throwing this out there. I don't think this is actually going to happen, but Hail Mary long shot. What if we got the return of Sasha Banks?
Yeah,
that's certainly. That's true. That's going to hang over every women's match from here on in. You know?
Like I said, I'm just throwing that out there as a Hail Mary. I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think the most likely scenario is what you suggested. We get a return of Becky Lynch, because Bianca is kind of going in by herself without any help. Becky Lynch returns. Bianca keeps the title, and that because she joins in the fray against Bayley and her clique, and maybe Damage Control adds.
They'll pick somebody
adds
up.
One more, right? Adds one more person to help balance the scales out, and that we get this feud going on leading into Survivor Series War Games.
And that's where I bring in the one woman that I know Triple H is going to be pushing like crazy, and that's Raquel Gonzalez, bro. I think her against Bianca has to happen. They're two of the strongest. You know what I mean? You need somebody to go against Bianca who's just as strong. You know what I mean? Just as dominating. And I think Raquel Gonzalez is going to be that lady down the line, like, you know what I mean? Like, I could see her joining Bayley and them too, actually, because
she's on SmackDown now. Are they
the bad guy?
Brand Smith, the brand split don't mean shit anymore.
That is true,
to a certain extent. To a certain extent, like we're not really seeing people jump across like that. We see
Alpha Academy's on every show every week,
right?
Much to my enjoyment.
Yeah, but usually when you're seeing people jump across, they're jumping across for like one-offs. Like they're showing up on for a match, but Alpha Academy is still raw talent. Most of their
but they used to have it where they were like they were very strict, like the Ruthless Aggression era, like about wrestlers going over to other brands. You know,
right? Yeah, and they've definitely loosened that up now because to a certain extent, SmackDown's roster is pretty weak right now, which. Given just how weak SmackDown's roster is right now, relatively compared to Raw, that's just another reason why I don't see them pulling a Raquel Rodriguez and giving her a heel turn.
Whoever's giggling, shoosh, please.
Shoosh, please.
Sorry.
I think Damage Control will gain another member, but I don't think it would be somebody like like a Raquel Rodriguez. I agree with you that Bianca Belair versus Raquel Rodriguez will make for a good match down the line, but that's far in the future.
Why rush it?
She's an enforcer, yo. Remember how she was in NXT? She was an enforcer. She was an enforcer of for Dakota Kai. She was with Dakota Kai before. They were a team. Yeah. Remember, that's her girl.
Yeah, she turned on her though.
So you know what I'm saying? She was a heel most of the time in NXT. Raquel Gonzalez was.
Yeah, but now they have her as a face on SmackDown, and she was just beefing with them over what they did to her homegirl, Aaliyah.
So and Finn Balor was with the Judgment Day. Look where he's at now.
Mm-hmm.
No, like it change in a blink of an eye, bro. And look, they got Raquel Gonzalez. She's like did she even fight this past week? And they took the belts from her and what's the name? They took them for a reason. You know what I mean?
Because to make the girls look strong, because that's the best tag team that they have right now.
Mm-hmm.
And not only he wants Raquel Gonzalez to be, you know what I mean, a singles wrestler right now, and two, you know what I mean, alone, because that's where she's going to flourish at right now. You know what I mean? I don't know. He might be thinking of doing something crazy with her, but that's one person that I could think that's part of that group that came from that same NXT that could be what that Bailey's trying to bring up right now. So I don't see nobody else really from NXT that's going to jump on their back.
Even if you get your four baby faces in Bianca, Asuka, Alexa, and we're not even talking about whether Alexa's going to be involved in this White Rabbit stuff, which who knows, and Becky, right? If you're looking for the fourth Damage Control member, you got 6 weeks to tell that story. You know what I mean? You don't have to decide Monday night who it's going to be. Mm-hmm. You got a while to go. I mean, a lot can happen in a month or a month and a half.
That is true. And if anything, if Raquel Rodriguez was to get dragged into this feud, honestly, I would see her being dragged in on the babyface side. If
I mean, that's certainly, it could be 5-on-5. Who knows?
Well, I was going to say, like, especially if Alexa Bliss gets pulled out of it to join up with Bray Wyatt, then somebody's got to fill in that slot, and I could see that being Raquel Rodriguez because there's precedent for her having beef with Damage Control over losing the tag titles and them injuring her homegirl Aaliyah.
Yeah,
that storyline's kind of already written in terms of on that side, rather than her making a sudden switched heel turn and being pulled off of the. And again, joining the faction. That's also pulling her off of SmackDown, which is again further weakening the roster.
Who is her? They just be throwing people with her though. Like who is her partner before Aaliyah? Somebody else was with her before Aaliyah.
You know what? I know what you're talking about because they've been doing that a lot though with the women's. They're just. I wonder if they're just trying to find who is compatible.
Yeah,
because Natalia has like a new
for the
fucking
women's division has been very weak.
Yeah, because Natalia has a new partner like every fucking week.
Have any direction to do? They don't have anything to do, so they're just throwing them together in tag teams just so they can do something with them. Because again, like I said, they got a whole lot of women, but nothing to really do with them if they're not competing for top titles or anything. Which is why, again, I'll repeat what I've said before: the women's division needs mid-level titles.
Thank you.
Yeah,
they both need mid-level titles.
Thank you.
That is true.
Thank you. Yeah, they desperately need mid-level titles.
Couldn't agree more.
So that way, so all these women can have something to do.
Raquel Rodriguez was pushing, or Gonzalez Rodriguez, whatever. She was pushing for a women's intercontinental title, which I don't think they need to call it women's intercontinental title.
No, they don't have to call it that.
No, they can call it something completely different. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the problem is coming up with a name for it, because you don't want to go television title, because that
just
sounds
bring back the European
weak.
title and give it to the women. It has prestige. It has history.
I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah, it already has history, and you know, like, now women are gonna be put in the history books for it, and it's close enough to the Intercontinental title. You know,
or you got to come up with one for each brand. So maybe you call it the Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, European title.
Maybe the North American title.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They could bring the North American title up.
Yeah. Raw, SmackDown, North American title, or do you come up with one name for Raw and another name for SmackDown? Like, you know, North American title for SmackDown and maybe European title for Raw or something of that nature to kind of be somewhat in line with what they have with Intercontinental in the United States. Or just be lazy about it. Damn it, call it the Women's Intercontinental title and the Women's United States title. Damn it, that can work just as fine.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them go with that route.
I mean, but I can see it work because, one, it's consistent with what they already have. Because, you know, they didn't come up with special names for the women's titles. There's just Raw and SmackDown women's titles.
I definitely see the desire for creativity, but simplicity wins out.
Yeah. Like I said, if they did, the main thing, the most important thing is that they need mid-card titles. Whatever they choose to call them.
Yeah, I agree.
Can be anything, but they need something. They absolutely need something. Because they got way too many talented women on this roster that they aren't doing shit with.
I think they are going to make more titles. I did read about Triple H having.
Yeah, there's that rumor going around that they actually have 3 titles already done and in the can. I think the tag titles are going to be one of them that are getting redone. I'm not sure what else, because a lot of them were redone recently. But you know, like, I'm not a fan of the Intercontinental title. Like, I wish they would redo that
awful.
one.
Nope, that shit is ugly and needs a redesign.
Hey, you know what
The
though?
only current title I kind of like is the U.S. title, and believe it or not, the women's tag titles.
Yeah, the women's tag titles aren't bad looking. I'll agree to that.
Kind of stuff.
Have you guys seen? What was the last time you guys saw the WWE 24/7 title?
Didn't it just
Not
change
since
hands at like a house show?
At a house show, I think it did, but on TV, we haven't seen it since Triple H has been around in charge.
Nope.
He got rid of that shit pretty fucking quickly. Because I right now, as far as I know, Dana Brooke has had it for 12 days. So she's currently the 24/7 champion.
It just popped up at a house show, and that had been the first time it had been seen for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
No R-Truth anymore, you know what I mean?
Yeah, R-Truth hasn't been on TV in a while either, because, you know, most of those guys, because they don't have anything to do without that title around. But
R-Truth is entertaining, though.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll find something else for him. I mean, besides being like the 54-time, you know, 24/7 champion. But
goddamn 24/7 belt.
But moving on here to the next gimmick match. We got Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross with Scarlett in a strap match. I think this is where Karrion Kross goes over and gets elevated, gets a win over Drew McIntyre. I like strap matches. I think, like, the last one we had, wasn't it like The Fiend and Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan?
I think so.
That may have been the last one.
Do we know what kind of strap match it is? Is it a 4 corners strap match,
or
is it
strap-on match, or
well, you can. It's either 4 corners or you can pin or submit the guy.
Yeah,
So
I'm
when
not
is the superstar more. No, this one's going to be pinfall submission. They have that's what's on WWE.com.
Well, that changed everything. Not really.
Fun fact, guys.
The superstar must endure an awful lot of punishment and pick up the win by pinfall or submission.
Which
I kind of, as far as strap matches, I never liked it when it happens that way. I've always preferred when it's the four corners.
Yeah.
Because it introduces a much greater level of brutality rather than just technical strap matches. Basically, just because when it's a strap match, it's basically just okay. Y'all are close and y'all can't get away from each other, so fight. But when you got to hit the four corners thing, that introduces a whole other level of brutality to the match because you got to beat this motherfucker down, and then after that, drag them to all four corners.
There's so much more opportunity for drama and false finishes. And
you get that third tap, and that person's going for the fourth, and also
that's a big mistake.
We haven't gotten one since 2020. That was the last one we had. In 2015, we had
unless you count.
Oh, go ahead.
Unless you count Cody, I would say unless you count Cody versus Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell because they did pull out the strap briefly.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Strap man.
Fun fact: in 2015, we had a Russian chain match with Extreme Rules with John Cena and Rusev. That's for the U.S. title.
Remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We've seen like dog collar matches. Samoan strap matches. What's
the famous dog collar match? Piper and Valentine?
Dog collar, at Starrcade.
83-ish.
Valentine and Rowdy Piper, But they had the Samoan strap match Extreme Rules in 2009 with CM Punk and Umaga. They also had the biker chain match at No Mercy in 2003 with Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker. And Great American Bash 2004, they had a Texas bull rope match with Eddie Guerrero and JBL. I remember that one.
You remember Savio Vega and Stone Cold on Raw in a strap match? That was like...
Yeah, that's actually ranked as like one of the biggest ones. Stone Cold Steve Austin and other wrestlers over the years have credited Savio Vega with helping them to find their footing in the WWE. Austin and Vega did battle in a fantastic Caribbean
96
strap match as part of the Beware of the Dog. And one of the best match endings you'll ever see. Austin seemingly had the match wrapped up, dragging Savio around by his neck while touching the corners. And just an ad came up. But the $1 Million champion didn't realize that the Caribbean legend was also touching the corners. It led to a big race.
Oh yeah!
At the end of Savio won. And per the match stipulation, sent Ted DiBiase packing.
I remember that.
Yeah.
They were both going for the last corner. Savio Vega dove and tapped the corner right before Stone Cold did it the last second and won the match.
Yeah, which I would think gives credence to the fact that four corner strap matches are way better.
They're so much better, yeah. My favorite variant has always been like the Texas strap match where they have the strap that has the cowbell between them.
Oh, yeah.
As a weapon.
Yeah, I recall that.
Yeah.
More cowbell.
Yeah, we need more cowbell.
Karrion Kross is going to choke Drew out with the strap. Mm-hmm. He's going to put him in that freaking chokehold. That's why it's pins and submissions. And he's going to choke him out with the strap. Probably, he's going to add that in there, and that's how he's going to overcome Drew. Mm-hmm. They have to show him, actually overcoming Drew in some type of way because they're not just going. Drew kicks out of everything, bro. Yeah. He kicks out of everything.
But imagine how much more drama it would be if he did that and then drug Drew's limp carcass around and hit all four corners.
I know. But do they want to? But did they want to do Drew dirty like that? Because they always make Drew look like Superman.
Drew's immune. Yeah, but Drew's immune to it now. He's at that level where no loss hurts him.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
And this match is really. This match is. We all know that this match is about building up Karrion Kross.
Agreed.
But we all know you still.
If you want to build him up, and the way he cuts his promos, and as dramatic as he is. Man, that if they would have gone the four corners route, it would have just put that extra level of drama into it. Of this guy standing over defeated Superman and dragging his limp body through that ring and tapping all four corners for that win, and then just coming out. That would take this win to the next level if that was the finish, as opposed to choke out at a 1-2-3.
That's true. That's true. But he's also a heel, and I don't know. They just ain't gonna make the baby face too.
I just want to hear
They
just
absolutely
those
will do that because it doesn't hurt them.
those strap fucking slaps.
It doesn't hurt Drew
I want to
lose
be
like
able
that,
to hear
no
that
matter how
shit in the
dramatic
arena.
You don't think that'll hurt him to lose like that to Karrion Kross, who just came back?
Absolutely not, because
he was like wearing a freaking Viking suit before he left. And
no, because they're working.
That he was some.
If anything, it works better to offset that.
A lot of people don't even know who the hell he is. He just came.
Which is why he needs as dramatic a victory as possible.
Exactly.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
He needs that big victory to help establish him as a credible major
I
heel.
understand that. I'm with you on that. He does need that because he deserves it. I think he's going to be great. You know what I mean? Karrion Kross is one of my favorite people, but a lot of people don't really know Karrion Kross like that.
I'm agreeing with you with that, and I'm saying that's why he needs the big victory, and he needs that dramatic finish because that's what it creates. That image, that they could put of Karrion Kross standing over a limp, basically quote unquote dead Drew McIntyre, having dragged his limp body across that ring and hitting all four corners. That is the win that immediately elevates him. And like I said, Drew McIntyre looking as the defeated Superman, he's immune to it. He can take any type of loss, and he's still Drew freaking McIntyre. But Karrion Kross needs a substantial victory to help elevate him. And I don't think a simple choke out in 1-2-3 is enough to do it.
Right.
He's going to go over. I think we all agree he's going to go over.
And you got to remember,
to what degree is he elevated?
Drew
with this
recently came off of a main eventing the last pay-per-view. So, there's no shame of, facing the guy who just main evented the last pay-per-view. I feel like that's pretty good on the card to be on the card with.
Oh, of course. Yeah, definitely.
This guy just got done tangling with the tribal chief.
Right. It's just that, man, if they would have gone the four corners route, that's just an order of magnitude greater victory for him.
Yeah. I wonder why they didn't do it that way, but I guess
somebody ain't thinking.
Only time will tell.
Well, all right. Now, this, in my opinion, should be the main event, but it's probably not going to be. Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins in a fight pit match with Daniel Cormier. Is that how you say his last name? Cormier? I don't know if I'm saying it right. Yeah. Will serve as a special guest referee. Former UFC champion. I think that's pretty cool. Bringing him in. Does he? I don't watch a lot of UFC. Does he have any history with Brock Lesnar?
And you'll call Mayor fan. I'm not a big fan of his. I think he ran away from John Jones. He got beat up and now he just ran away. Now he retired. He was scared. I'm not a big fan of his.
Well, let's see if he calls it down the fucking middle.
It's funny you should mention Brock Lesnar because I do think this is going to be the main event. And I think that for two reasons. One, this is the hottest feud. The hottest feud has a match that's occurring at this pay-per-view.
Right.
But I think getting that cage up and down, I think getting the cage up is going to take a minute. I don't think they're going to want to take another 15 minutes or whatever it takes to get it down for another match after it.
You're right. It might be the main event then. And
absolutely, I think I'm in agreement with Doyle. It absolutely will be. Plus, furthermore, not only is it just that the steel cage is it, the steel cage replaces the ring ropes. So it's not just that they.
So there's a lot. It's a lot of switchover time.
Right.
It's not.
They're not going to want to sit there and take down the ropes, put the cage down, have a match, and then have to put the ropes back up and bring the cage. They're not going to do all that. So I believe this absolutely will be the main event. They'll do everything beforehand, then they'll tear down, and that helps build up the suspense towards the main event. Because, all right, we've had all the other matches, tearing down the ring. It's go time. Time for the main event in the fight pit.
Right, and for a lot of people who don't bring. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say you don't bring Cormier in for nothing.
Yeah.
I know he's a guy that's been on the WWE fanboy train for a while. And as we've previously mentioned, there's a fucking Saudi Arabia blood money show coming up. Wouldn't that be a great place for Cormier versus Brock Lesnar?
Yeah.
So I think
true.
I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Lesnar got himself involved in this somehow, which is another reason I think this will be the main event.
They were trash talking each other at one time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they were. Yep.
Well,
Him and Brock Lesnar were trash talking each other more than once.
a lot of people
So
who don't.
I think this is a great place. I think it's a great place for Brock Lesnar to reinsert himself. But we're also getting into the point now where there's too many fucking re-debuts and debut and stuff.
God,
I don't think. I'll say I kind of hope that does not happen because I don't want Brock Lesnar to overshadow Riddle and Rollins.
Fair enough.
In their fight.
But I think I at the end of the day, I don't think you bring in Cormier to just have him be a referee.
Yeah.
He's gonna have something to do with something, right?
Yeah.
So
He may just be. I mean, I don't know that I haven't heard anything of Daniel Cormier training to be a wrestler.
I mean, but he's been saying that he wanted to. He's always been wanting to.
Oh no, yeah, he's wanted to be involved for a while.
Yeah, he wants to be involved, but again, he could just be like another one-off like Bad Bunny or Logan Paul. It's a guy who pops up here and there.
They don't have to tell us that he's trained, bro. They could have hid that from us. They're training, you know what I mean?
I'm not talking about the WWE telling us, but I think if he had been training, I think that would have been some news outlet would have picked up on that by now and reported it.
Well, he's still. Well, you got to think he's still in shape from being MMA. So I'm pretty sure he might have took some bumps or something. You know what I mean? You never know. You know what I mean? They're pretty good at like sneaking people around. So,
Right,
I guess we'll see, though. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I think he's been on a list of people that have wanted to mix it up for a while.
Yeah. He has been talking about it for a long time, and he's going back and forth with more than one wrestler before, besides Brock Lesnar.
I'm not.
And we've seen them love to bring in people like that, even if it's only for a one-off or a two-off or whatever.
Right. I'm not saying that this is a one and done deal with Daniel Cormier. Like this is the one time he'll show up and we'll never see him again. I'm saying that I don't think that this is going to lead to something like steadily ongoing. I don't like.
Oh, I know, like maybe like a once and done. Now. Like what was the last UFC guy that they brought in? That recently left.
He's not going to show up now and then all of a sudden be on Raw.
No. I don't think that.
I think
he'll be a one-off thing here, and maybe just to get him introduced to the WWE universe, and then now he's on the table to be used in the future for something else, like what they have with Bad Bunny and Logan Paul. I think they're building up this roster of outside WWE stars that they can call upon to help. Give them that boost when they need it, and help give them that outside media attention.
It could be like a WrestleMania thing for them. They always bring stars in at WrestleMania sometimes.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's just another non-WWE celebrity that they can add to their, add to their roster. That they can call on occasionally when they need that extra boost, like Logan and Bad Bunny.
Yeah. And he'll be in the Hall of Fame in a few years for being a superstar on there, MMA.
Yeah, well, it depends on now. What remains to be determined is how well he performs and how seriously he takes it.
Oh, well, yeah.
He can do all because they've tried it with other people and it hasn't worked out as well, like a Tyson Fury.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, Tyson Fury or what was the other UFC guy?
That's who I was trying to think about before. Velasquez.
Yeah.
That's who it is.
And then went and shot like a car full of people or something.
Oh my God. Is this their plan B because they couldn't get him back?
Well, I mean, it kind of it failed with Cain Velasquez. So it didn't work out well at all. So I mean,
does anybody know if Daniel Cormier knows the words to American Pie?
I wouldn't be singing American Pie if they're going over to fucking Saudi. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be like singing that.
I know, right?
Oh man, you think about it, right? But hey, let's get back to this fight pit real quick. So for people who don't know like if this is your first time experiencing the fight pit, there's only been a fight pit match, or fight pit matches have only taken place on NXT. The last one that we had was with Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher back in 2020 in May.
Has there been another one other than that one?
I believe there may have been.
I remember Owen and Shamrock fought, but that was like that was supposed to be like Stu Hart's dungeon or something.
Yeah,
I don't think it was called a fight pit.
I'm pretty sure that was something different. That wouldn't be a fight.
I don't think it was called fight pit.
Right. The fight pit concept was originally introduced during the behind closed doors era of WWE back in 2020, and it played off the MMA and UFC history of Matt Riddle. The fight pit structure sees the ring surrounded by cage match like walls, and there's also a balcony / platform on the top of those walls that the competitors can walk around on. Other cage match types in WWE can see competitors win via escaping the cage or pinfall, but that is not the case here. In keeping with the idea of being in MMA style concept, competitors can only win via knockout or submission. So, but if you watched Raw recently, Matt Riddle said, "I'm going to kill you." I was like, "What?" He pretty much said he was just gonna kill Rollins. Yeah, I was like, Riddle, save that for the Saudi show.
Right.
Yeah, so who does everybody think's winning?
I think, honestly, I think Matt Riddle is going to go over. I mean, this match was made basically off of the concept of Matt Riddle, and he was the last one to have this match. I mean, he's probably the reason why they're bringing this match here. I don't know. Then again, The Undertaker didn't always win casket matches, or buried alive matches, or Hell in a Cell matches. So I guess you can't go on that concept either. But I still think Matt Riddle is going to win this. And it could be interference, and that's where I thought maybe Brock Lesnar would pop up. But yeah, that's wild idea. But Dre, what are you thinking?
I mean,
it's hard to say because we know that the very next day Rollins is taking on Lashley for the U.S. title. Mm-hmm. So, man, are you going to have him lose back to back, or is he?
Or lose and then win?
There's going to be, I feel like there's going to be some split. I don't see him taking 2 losses back to back 2 days in a row. As much immunity as we believe Seth Rollins has, and he has been on a hell of a losing streak this year. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much longer they're going to continue that. He's going to have to start getting some dubs at some point, especially the way that Riddle trash talked him. And man, Riddle getting the win, I don't know what that really does for him. Honestly, if I had to put money on it, I think Seth Rollins wins this match.
That means the feud isn't over. That means the feud isn't over then.
No, I think
if the face loses twice to a heel, there's going to be a third match.
Maybe it continues on past this. But I don't know.
How was that?
The Seth Rollins laugh.
I feel okay. Threw the Seth Rollins laugh in there because I don't know. I don't think Seth Rollins is going to beat Bobby Lashley on Raw, and I think that's why I'm thinking he's going to win in the fight pit.
Okay.
I'm thinking he wins in the fight pit and then loses to Lashley on Raw.
I didn't factor in that match afterwards.
He loses the fight pit and then beats Bobby Lashley.
That's a possibility, but I don't know that they're ready to take the title off Lashley yet. I don't know what creative direction they have for Bobby Lashley if he's not champion.
I want to see fucking Lesnar Lashley again, but clean. And you don't need a fucking title involved for that.
All I know is that I will be.
Yeah, they could do that. They could go the route of having Rollins lose to Riddle, beat Lashley for the title, then Lashley's in the clear without a title, and then they try to rush to a Lesnar Lashley match at Crown Jewel. I just wouldn't. I would just hope that they.
Because
I
the
would just hope
history's
that they
already
wouldn't
there.
waste that match on Crown Jewel.
I know, because
That's
I would like a better build up, and like for them to do that.
To me,
within,
that's a
like,
WrestleMania caliber match,
exactly.
not a Crown Jewel match.
Seeds are there though for WrestleMania.
All I know is, man, I'll be wearing my Seth Rollins shirt that night tomorrow. On Saturday night, but I don't know. I think me
Does it
personally
have lace?
Huh? Lace?
Oh wait, hold on.
King of the Summer.
Nah, I ain't. I'm not wearing no foolish Seth Rollins shirt. Just a regular shirt. Nah, but I think I honestly think that if this is the main event, and I think that this is when freaking Bray is coming back. And I think he's the reason why, what's the name's going to win the match. Why I think he's why Matt Riddle's going to win. 'Cause I think he's going to attack Seth, and I don't even think Seth's going to be there Monday night to fight Lesnar for the U.S. title. That's how I feel.
Oh.
I mean, I just feel like it's really weird that they got him feuding with two people at one time. And now he has a U.S. title match on Monday. He's been his big match with Riddle on Sunday night, and he's just feuding with two people at the same time. Like it's all this on one person right now. So I just feel like it's a distraction. I feel like the team coming after Rollins, and the whole cage is a significant of him killing the Fiend. You know what I mean? Because of that stupid ass match they had, and it just ruined them. You know what I mean? And I just think it's going to start with Rollins, and I don't know.
What do you do with Bobby Lashley on Monday then? If you,
but I think he just going to have an open challenge match because he's Bobby Lashley, and he's just going to have an open challenge match to anybody that wants to come take it. Which still, you know what I mean? Which they could get somebody out there that could put on a good match with Lashley.
That'd be good. You know what though? Because we did discuss earlier about them bringing some people up from NXT the beginning of the next season. So you're right, like an open challenge match, and we get like an NXT call up. You know, that doesn't win it, but puts on a really good match.
Yeah. We ain't gonna know where Seth is. I don't know what's gonna happen to Seth, but I don't know. Seth might not even be on Monday Night Raw in the capacity we think he's going to be. If what I'm thinking is going to happen, you know what I mean? But
I mean, Seth Rollins is one of those people who could walk away for a couple weeks and we'd be content with that, you know?
Like we were saying earlier, like who is relevant enough for the Fiend to come back and attack? Like who? I can't think about anybody but Rollins.
That is interesting.
You know what I mean?
That's interesting. That's creative. That's very creative.
That whole thing
set Seth Rollins up to take more L's. So
exactly. Yeah, exactly. You killed the world. Rollins. Yeah, he had the whole world in his hand. You killed it.
So who's face and who's heel in that scenario?
Who's that?
Be Seth Rollins.
Who's baby face and who's heel in that scenario?
Seth Rollins.
Well, Seth is a heel. So
we already. So
the
Fiend's a baby face.
Oh yeah, Fiend's coming back as a baby face. I think so. I mean, come on, you already got dark entities and Karrion Kross in the Judgment Day. I mean, we all know the Fiend could eventually just turn heel, but I always felt like the Fiend was that standalone type of character. You know what I mean?
When was the last time that the Fiend and Seth Rollins were in a feud together or had a match? Come on, guess.
Oh man, what was it?
2015.
Was it that awful red Hell in a Cell?
That's right, Hell in a Cell 2019 for the I think it was the Raw Universal title, the red one.
Toss it.
Yeah, toss that shit.
What I'm talking about. That's the match that killed the Fiend, bro.
That's true. That's what killed the Fiend's momentum. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That was it. You're right, fucking Dave. You're right, man.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
It's real crazy, man.
So how much fucking string is going around your house right now with fucking pictures of the Fiend and Seth Rollins and shit back in 2019? How you figuring this shit out, man? In your basement, like
I was. Yo, come on, man. Man. We were all angry at that match. We were all angry.
That would be a good way to make up. Like if this is their way to make up for such a shit match, and like maybe down the road give us a proper fucking feud with these two, because that's also when Seth Rollins became a big pussy too. Like
it does make sense. I mean, with Seth Rollins being as cocky and arrogant as he is right now, then he comes back, and we know as much as everybody has wanted him to come back, as soon as he comes back, he's going to be the babyface just because of the serious pop that he's going to get from the audience. Is instant babyface, and he can always turn heel, like you said, later on down the line. He can make his heel turn, but on his initial return, he's absolutely going to be a babyface.
Yep, he definitely is.
It just sucks for Seth Rollins because he'll be in a great feud, but again, a good feud to close out the year. But man, you're setting him up to take even more L's.
Exactly.
Sucks for Seth because I mean he ain't done shit but lose all year.
He has, but he's been putting people over, and that's what what he does. That's what he does best. He does it good. He puts people over.
Yeah, he's that rarefied air where he can lose repeatedly, and yet never look weak, and it's because of the strength of his matches.
Randy Orton's the same way. I think Randy's the same way. Randy could lose, and he's still Randy, bro. Because he all he has to do is put on a good promo. He's back to being Randy. You know what I mean?
He's got that level of meat, like a Triple H.
Yep.
Except Triple H was too cocky to realize that he can lose and still be Triple H, so he had to beat the shit out of everybody.
And I also still think that you know what I mean. We don't know how great Randy's doing right now, but
last news report I saw, Randy Orton is not coming back this year.
Not at all.
No, I don't think so either. I think he's waiting for Royal Rumble, maybe.
No,
if he makes not see Randy Orton at all this year. His back is, like I said, not healing as I don't say it's healing, but his back injury was much worse than people thought it was.
Yeah, like he can't do the RKO, right?
If he makes WrestleMania, you know what I mean. I'm saying if he makes WrestleMania, it's going to be against Riddle. That's all I think.
Maybe if it depends on if he comes back as a heel.
Which a ways to go.
That's way far off.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the main event here. Well, what they
probably not.
It's late for me. I'm going to have to go.
Oh, all right, Dave. Well, thanks for joining us on this long podcast. But we will see you Saturday.
Yep. I'll see you guys Saturday. I'll hit you up, Wayne.
All right, man.
Dave.
All right, bro. All right, fellas. I'll see you later.
All right, take it easy.
And that is Dave getting pinned, and he is now eliminated from the match. Daddy duties. Let's get to the main event here. It's Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey in an Extreme Rules match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I think we might get a heel turn from Liv Morgan, and and she goes over on Ronda, because if she doesn't beat Ronda clean, she has to go over as a heel in some way, shape, or form, because I can't see her leaving this match and like people still being a fan of her, if she wins dirty. But I guess you can't win dirty. I mean, exactly. It's an Extreme Rules, so like it's a good way for her to get a win over Ronda, I guess. Like in that, but like I would rather see a clean pin kind of match But I guess we're not going to get that. We're not going to get a regular match out of these two unless it's a dirty finish of some kind.
I mean, she can still get a clean pin, a clean 1-2-3 pin. It's just obviously there's going to be other things involved in the match.
Yeah,
because it's an Extreme Rules match. So,
but you know what I mean, though, like a regular singles match. But like I get it. But yeah, she has to beat Ronda though. Like she has to. And like I don't want to see Shayna Baszler interfering. There's like really no reason for Shayna to even have to. But not saying that she won't and fuck it up for Ronda though. I could see that also happening. And now instead of teaming Ronda and Shayna, because I know they've been doing it at house shows, but you know they could totally fucking swerve left with this and screw Ronda over, and now we get Ronda versus Shayna at some point. I mean, even though I think it's way too soon.
Yeah, I was going to say this match is rife, as many of them are, for interference. And certainly Shayna Baszler would be number one on the list. But whose side is she on? You know, she could be on Ronda's side. She could be against Ronda. But I could see Adam Pearce getting involved in this. He's been out since Ronda beat him up or whatever. When was that? A couple weeks ago, right? So he's got. I could see him coming and maybe pulling like a Dusty finish, you know, and awarding the match to Liv Morgan after the fact somehow. But I could also see Charlotte Flair coming back in this one as well. You know, maybe she wants to take out Ronda, or maybe she wants to take out Liv Morgan. Who knows? So I think this is another one that a lot of interference could happen in. You know,
yeah.
I think Liv Morgan's championship run has been fucking the drizzling shits. And as much as I don't really care for either of these performers, I hope and I think Ronda Rousey will win.
Yeah,
because this Liv Morgan shit has got to end sometime.
Well, the main reason why her title run has been so lackluster is because of the botch they pulled at SummerSlam with the controversial finish. That's what they ever since.
Sure, but you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube.
Right, I get that, and I'm saying they can't really do that much, but they can possibly start to course correct by giving her a win here. I think that's probably going to happen because I just don't see them putting the title back on Ronda Rousey again. Like, for what? Like, I don't think she needs it. And I think a Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler pairing or something of that sort, or feud, is far more interesting than another Ronda Rousey title run. Because, I mean, the one, SmackDown is kind of lacking in heels. And if Ronda Rousey she seems to be on the path towards a babyface right now, given some of the cheering that she's gotten. I don't know if she's just getting cheered just because of her feud with Liv Morgan or what, because Ronda's kind of in that weird spot.
I'm glad you mentioned that. It made me think of something that I had actually written down and then forgot to read. This is going to be one of those bizarro, like Canada crowds, right? Where I think Liv Morgan is going to get booed out of the building. And Rousey's going to be cheered.
Well, here's the thing: is we decide that shit,
right? Like, let's say even if Liv comes in as the face and Ronda comes in as the heel, I think a Philly crowd is going to boo the fuck out of Liv and cheer for Ronda. So I don't know how much that's going to play into things or not.
I don't think. Well, the fact that it's Canada, it won't play in at all because WWE has learned to ignore the Canadian crowd reactions.
It's not Canada, though. It's like Canada.
I thought you said it was Canada.
No, you said like Canada.
It's going to be in Philadelphia.
Yeah, bizarre. It is true though. Like Philly is one that does that. We boo the people we're not supposed to and cheering ones we're not supposed to. Like,
and I think and WWE is smart enough to know what those markets are and pretty much ignore them in terms of what direction they take their characters.
Yeah, you know why? It's because if they would have brought Roman Reigns, we'd all be acknowledging the tribal chief in Philly.
Right. And like I said, Ronda's in this weird space right now where she's technically a heel, but she's been getting cheered a lot recently. And I don't know that I'm not fully convinced that she's getting cheered because she's primed for a face turn. I think it's strictly because it's strictly tied to Liv Morgan. And I think the crowd is starting to sour on Liv as champion because her run has been handled so poorly. And then Ronda is just basically getting cheered by default just because she's the opponent of Liv Morgan, which could prime Liv Morgan for a heel turn if they decide to go that route. But
they could do the double turn.
This one is hard to gauge because I think they're going to keep the title on Liv. I think she's going to win. I think she's going to get a clean pinfall. I just don't know what direction they go with her character after this. I don't know if they heel turn her after this and keep her as champion, or if she stays babyface and they try to set her up against another heel and try to legitimize this title run. But I do think of all the matches on the card, this one is the most ripe for shenanigans because neither one of them are very strong workers. So you're going to need something to help carry this match outside of just them swinging on each other with weapons for 15 minutes. So we could see, like you said, a Shayna Baszler interference. We could see possibly a Charlotte Flair return, although Charlotte is a perpetual heel. So if she returns, who does she turn on? Do they could bring her back and God no, because I don't see them bringing her back and turning her on Liv Morgan and then Liv still overcoming that. That seems a little far fetched. And I don't see them bringing Charlotte back, having her turn on Liv so that Ronda Rousey wins the title, and then Charlotte Flair goes against Ronda Rousey again because nobody wants to see that.
Well, this is like a show with too many potential run-ins, right? So,
I know.
Which means like, or re-debuts or whatever you want to call it, which means that like only two of them are actually going to happen.
Right. We could very well be overthinking the hell out of all this shit.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, also you think about all these. Nobody can get disqualified. Nobody's going to get disqualified in a fight pit match or a strap match or a ladder match or the I Quit or this or a good old fashioned Donnybrook. Nobody's going to, there's no disqualification. So like literally anybody can just like fuck up. There could be a 24/7 title match in every one of these matches. It doesn't matter. It does not fucking matter. Like just the dumbest shit can happen. It's fucking bananas.
Well, sure. That adds to the intrigue and the fantasy booking and whatnot, but realizing how much of it's going to happen.
I mean, and like,
obviously we won't know.
6 matches.
Yeah, there's only 6 matches, which makes me think there's going to be a whole lot of other shit, right?
Right. I mean, what's nice is like we're not going to
debuts or re-debuts.
Well, there's 6 matches, and I think 6 matches, and I'm going to say plus the White Rabbit because honestly, I think the White Rabbit.
You think that's like a 20-minute segment?
I think that's going to be its own individual segment, is the White Rabbit reveal.
Yeah, you're
right.
Now, that's not to say that he can't still show up later on in the Riddle-Rollins match. Yeah. He could do both. They could do that just to get the most out of it, especially if it is Bray Wyatt. And they want to get the absolute maximum return on that. They could make it its own dedicated segment and then have him come back later on that evening.
I mean,
they could do both.
If you give 6 matches 20 minutes, that's only 2 hours. You know, like. Right. I'm glad that it looks like everybody's going to get their time, which is cool. You know, but there's got to be something else.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
It's going to go more than 20 minutes. Like Brawl and Bruce versus Imperium, I think that's a 30-minute match.
Sure, fine.
Edge and Finn. Granted, we still got to fill out a whole nother hour worth of show.
Right.
So
but they can't all be 30-minute matches. You know,
right. There's no way in hell Ronda.
Liv and Ronda don't have 30 minutes in them.
No,
you know
I think that's a 15-minute match.
Yeah,
max. Maybe 20 if there's some outside shenanigans.
So I mean, there's still a chance we get a match or two announced. On SmackDown.
I think it's almost certain.
I think there's got to be a pre-show match of some kind, right?
I hope not.
Braun Strowman
Match. I would hope they wouldn't do a pre-show match because if they got a match,
No.
they better throw that on the damn show.
They better throw it on the thing.
Yeah, actually,
That's actually a great point. Trey.
I would say from Peacock's point of view, from what we've seen the past couple months from reviewing, there hasn't been any kickoff matches.
Right.
It's just been an hour of absolute video packages. I mean, that's it. And we get the shucky ducky quack of the moment of the day or whatever. Like that's about it. Yeah, I mean, like, I could see Braun Strowman doing it. If we're doing a dark match, like in Philly, yeah, I could see, like, Braun Strowman showing up and squashing maybe, I don't know, Alpha Academy. Like, I don't know.
No, I hope not.
Like, I did hear that there's rumors that they're hinting towards, like, Omos and Braun maybe at some point. But
I heard that. Talking that type of feud. I can see that happening for Crown. Now, that's the match you have at Crown Jewel.
yeah, that's what I think they'd be building
let them
to.
enjoy let them enjoy two big goofs just wailing on each other.
Trying their best.
20 minutes. Right. Because I highly doubt that Omos has improved his abilities, his wrestling at all. So, yeah, that's Crown Jewel. That is a perfect match for Crown Jewel.
I think Omos looks a lot better physically. Like he's put on muscle, he's lost some fat, whatever, you know.
Yep.
I hate to body shame anyone or whatever, but his outfit still looks like shit. But
Probably because they can't find anything that fits him.
Right. Well,
like hell, he
same
can't.
with Walter or Gunther or whatever. Like, right? He has lost a lot of weight and put on muscle or whatever, and it looks like he gives a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes along. Or I know it went a long way with Vince. Remains to be seen what Hunter thinks about it. But I mean, like, I think both of them.
I think Hunter's more
other people too, but both of them specifically.
How you look.
Sure, it doesn't matter how you look, but
no, I didn't say it doesn't matter. I'll say I think Hunter is more concerned with what you can do in the ring versus how you look.
Like I said, this is more of a harkening back to the McMahon era, but I think in both of those cases, like, they both give a shit, I think.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's what resonates with Hunter. Yeah, that's what resonates with Hunter, showing that you care.
Right. And when I think, dropping 40 pounds or whatever and putting on muscle or whatever is a good manifestation of I give a shit. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, it shows your commitment.
Absolutely.
I still think he's the drizzling sheds, but at least he's putting in the effort. Like, hey, I give a shit. I don't think you could say the same about I don't know, say Giant Gonzalez or like.
So Andrew, I gotta ask what shirt are you gonna be wearing?
Me?
Yeah, when you go this Saturday.
I think I'm going with one of my favorites of all time.
What's that?
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh, very nice. See, I'm always like, do I go with an old one? Do I go with like a classic one, or do I go with like a more current one, like maybe like a favorite wrestler I have now? I have a Roman Reigns one I like, but I don't know, man. I go through there and I see some classic ones. I know they're having DX come back on Monday, which sucks that I'm missing that because I have a DX shirt and I would love just to be there for all of DX, but I'll be missing it. They couldn't do it there.
Speaking of Raw's after pay-per-views,
yeah,
I just found out recently that the Raw after Survivor Series, right here in my hometown.
Oh, snap.
I don't know. I have not gotten tickets yet. I don't know if I'm going to go yet. I'm going to, because I don't really have any wrestling friends around here like that, except for a small handful. So I'm going to reach out to one of my friends and see if they are going, which knowing her, she probably is, because she's super diehard wrestling.
I mean, to think that they're going to be bringing WrestleMania back here.
Oh, yeah.
What is it, WrestleMania 40?
40, yes.
Yeah, 2020. Well, 2024, right?
Lincoln Financial Field.
It's not.
That's a big fucking deal.
Yeah. Yeah, holy crap. Yeah, April 6th and 7th, 2024 at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
The link.
Yeah, capacity 67,594. That
It's going to
will
be a very long and expensive weekend.
Yeah. Well, thank God, like, we live close, and like, I mean, I'm totally going, like, absolutely. Like, I always said, like, it's on my bucket list, and if I didn't have to cost me an arm and a leg for like travel, I was like, I'll definitely go. But I was like, it'll never come down to Philly. There's no way. I was like, you know when it will come to Philly? It'll come to Philly when Vince is long gone.
It was in Philly or something like that, wasn't it?
I'm calling it now. Long shot prediction. Bobby Lashley and Fletcher Cox at a tag team match.
Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox.
Hold on while I Google that.
Fletcher Cox at the Eagles.
Oh yeah, I see it. Never mind. I'm like, why is that name ring a fucking bell so hard right now? I was like, oh yeah, it's a different sport. That's why. But yes, I like how you did bring the Cox on here. I know who Fletcher Cox is. I just didn't ring football for a second. I'm like, what fucking wrestler is named Fletcher Cox? Like, that's a good wrestling name though, Fletcher Cox.
How the hell is the guy who's not in the Philadelphia area the Eagles fan on this podcast?
Alrighty.
Philadelphia area, and I'm not a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Say what?
I said I'm in the Philadelphia area and not an Eagles fan.
That's what I mean. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm down here in Virginia, and I'm the Eagles fan. Y'all up there in Philly, and y'all are not fans.
Well, because I'm from Boston, so I'm a fan of the greatest franchise of all time. But
fair enough. Yeah.
Talk about that later.
Yeah. How's that L taste from Big Dick Nick?
The king of the summer.
Oh, Seth Rollins. So, well, I guess that's all I got for this. I mean, it's a long-ass episode. I'm ready to wrap this shit up. I mean, jeez. I took like 4 piss breaks, and I drank a lot of shots. So I'm ready to call it a night, gentlemen. I got a long weekend. I'm probably going to lose my voice, most likely. I don't think I'm going to bring a sign. But I hope... Hopefully we are within
bring a sign. I want to shout out.
Yeah. Just shout out. Just bring a sign with your name on it.
Wish you were here, Dre.
It says, "Where's Dre?"
Yeah.
Wish you were here, Dre.
Where's the 4th horseman? Like,
hell, make a PCW sign.
I know, right? They're going to come by and take and rip it down. I'm like, don't worry, I got another one. Actually, I think the smart thing would be to bring a dry erase board.
I mean, we are on the hard camera side, so we will be.
Are we on the hard camera side? Oh,
PCW podcast.
I know.
We will be in the line of fire. But.
That's where I need to get a PCW fucking shirt. That's where we need to start getting some merch.
That's why you get your sign. PCW podcast on Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple, everywhere.
Put it up there.
YouTube.
Put it up there during a match where you know nobody will be looking at the ring.
Oh, man. There could be a couple of those. No, you know what? Somebody's gonna... you know what would be genius? Is if you get a QR code. Put it on a fucking board.
Yeah, no one's ever thought of that.
People are going nuts, thinking it's... Oh, this has to do with the White Rabbit.
What's this QR code?
We got... It goes right to our podcast page. What the fuck? We gotta listen for clues. They listen to the whole thing. There's none of them.
Okay. Don't know how it happened, but we got 21 star ratings.
Yeah.
I thought this was a White Rabbit Q. There was a stupid fucking podcast.
That's right. Actually, that's something I want to talk about. We need to get some ratings up in here. I just never push for it, but you know what? If we're gonna get some more subscribers and more downloads, maybe we should start getting some ratings in. So I know who's listening, and I've rated your podcast, and you owe me a favor. And if it's a good rating, I'll read it out on the podcast. You know what? I'll probably end up reading any shitty ones we get, but
Yeah, do that. That'd be good.
Follow,
Terrible.
subscribe, rate, review, all that good shit.
Yeah, Andrew, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
I try to not be found. But I do want to use my platform to give a shout out to fellow wrestling fan John Rhodes, who last time I saw him said he would listen to an episode of PCW. Don't know if he ever did, but John passed away this week, so I just want to give a shout out to him. He was a wrestling fan. He was a good dude. So rest in peace, John.
Rest in peace.
Sean. Yeah. Dre, any shout outs? Where do people contact you?
Y'all can find me on the PCW Discord. That's right, we have a Discord. Find it, look it up. Find me in there under the name Outlaw Star.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to reach Dave, just let me know, and I will send you his phone number, his address, and I'll tell you what kind of car he drives. Maybe give you like his license plate. Yeah, where he works, the last four of his social. Ooh, I have a spare key for his house. You know,
his dog name.
Yeah, and if you got any complaints and like there's some ideas you want to throw at us for the podcast. How about just write it on the back of a $20 bill and just send it to us, you know? And you can reach me on Twitter or Instagram at semi-dry chicken. Yeah. So until next week, guys, or whenever.
King of the summer.
And his name is John C. Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Bye. Have a great time.